idea what's going on. There's a bunch of communication issues right now. The officials I think that they're giving an invalid signal here. Okay, so the up back right there in front of the returner, when you put your arms out like that, it's kind of a signal to the kickoff team that you're going to give up down the ball, and so this ball's coming back to the 25.
All right, first down at 10 of the 25, first snap. And Manning rolls out of the pocket, throws across his body, and he skips that one to DeAndre Moore Jr.
Welcome in. We are in. We are live. We are here for a very big game. Great kickoff to college football Saturdays. We got Texas. We got Ohio State. We got Arch Manning. We got defending national champs. This is everything you want in a game.
Second down and 10 to the 25. This time they'll run it straight ahead. And it's Wisner. Gain 6.
Let me do my sound check to make sure we sound good.
Is new for the Buckeyes. Kenyatta Jackson, a guy they're relying on for pressure. Sonny Styles, their captain. He's got number 0 now. That big block he's been relied on as a captain. And Caleb Downs, the best player, I think the best defender in college football in the back end.
Buckeyes with a chance to get off the field on 3rd and 4. Manning goes through his progressions underneath. It's caught, but short of the first down from this spot. Igbeneusen with the tackle.
And the offense is staying on the field right here. They're going to go for this.
So they'll go for it.
Oh, I don't know. My goodness.
It might be Ohio State feels like they denied them.
Getting a first down signal from that far side officials. Today, officials, Gus, are from the SEC. This is an SEC crew. It'll be an SEC replay booth, and they will give them that first down. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he got that first down there.
From the 35, C.J. Baxter. They give it to him. He skims through the hole. Nice move as he cuts it back up, picks up a first down, getting to midfield. Lorenzo Styles Jr. with the tackle. That's a gain of 14, and they're so happy that this young man is back in the lineup.
Tore up his knee in camp last year after having a marvelous true freshman year the year prior, and really leaned in, was a coach on the field, and he feels like he's a better player. He's explosive. They have been waiting to see him back on the field, and that's a great carry here early in this game.
First down, Texas at the 49. Empty backfield for Manning. Remember, he's got incredible wheels. Manning sets, guns, over the middle, incomplete. Flag on the play, however.
False start, number 1 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, Gus,
Arch got bailed out right there. That could have been a interception. Offsides on a receiver, which is a rare call for them to make. Texas being super aggressive, starting out going for it on 4th down on the wrong side of the field. So they're playing aggressive.
Setting Manning back in the pocket, letting him control the game. Already a difference from what we saw from Texas a year ago.
So that'll make it first down at 15 at the 44. Baxter again, straight ahead with the...
What's going on, Beast? Yeah, I watched the Colorado game. My quick takeaways are Salter needed to settle down. He had a couple opportunities he could have ran and got the first, especially in the first quarter when they had those turnovers. They didn't take advantage of it. 3 turnovers first quarter. You only get 7 points out of it. I would say that's a failure. Then in the second half of that game, the QB, he was picking himself up off the ground every play. You needed to get some big hits on him. And I don't understand why college teams who are getting ran on like that don't go to a 5-2. So you go 5 defensive linemen and you go 2 linebackers to force their hand. They didn't want to throw the ball. I'm making you throw the ball. Georgia Tech is a running team. They're a triple option team. So you got to take that away first. So especially with their top receiver who was out, who couldn't play the rest of the game. Then on the Colorado side, as soon as they had a lot of success running the ball, they stopped running the ball. Then they started trying to throw the ball. So Pat Shurmur, I don't understand his game plan. I like to see what you're trying to attack as an offense. Dang, that was almost offsides right there on Texas again. It's going to be 4th and short for Texas right here. I don't know what he was trying to do. So at first it seemed like he was attacking them, running the ball. Then it seemed like he wanted to kind of do the option, but they weren't telling Caden Salter to run, which was weird because he had open lanes. Then they start going for these deep shots, and it's like, so you averaging, crazy over 5 yards a carry running the ball, and then you trying to do these deep shots when they're prepared for the deep shot. So you want to do a deep shot when you're throwing them off guard when you do a deep shot. Texas going for it again on 4th down on this drive. I don't know how many times you can go to the well and they get stopped. You can't keep going to that 4th down well. It shows desperation. It shows that you don't believe in your defense or you don't want to see your defense, and they don't get it there. Yeah, but it was all around. It was a game they should have won. Colorado should have won that game. Just watching it, I was like, man, oh, man. Then they mishandled the game clock at the end of the game. When they had that first pass that was short of the first down marker, they should have called a timeout there. They didn't call the timeout there. Then Caden Salter, instead of understanding, I got the first down, slide, they're going to stop the clock to move the chains, he ran all the way across the field. Then you just throw 2 Hail Marys and game over. So it was like they had so many breakdowns. They had poor clock management. I'm putting that on Coach Prime. Caden Salter made some poor decisions going for the big splash plays. I'm putting that on the quarterback. The offensive play calling, getting away from the running game too soon, I'm putting that on the play caller. The defensive line, not forcing them to throw the ball because you see they only wanted to run, I'm putting that on the defensive play caller in Livingston. So it's blame to go around for everybody. That was just a game that they blew that they should have won. They should have won that game, and they didn't. And, stuff like that comes to hurt you because now if you want to make the playoff, you got to win. You got to win the Big 12. So you just you start out the season, put yourself behind the 8 ball in a situation where you could have did a lot better. So it was crazy. What are your takeaways besides the play caller being terrible? What do you think about their defense giving up 300 rushing yards? I mean, I think that was, I think that is worse. That's more of an indictment on what y'all doing than you actually kind of blowing. Well, nah, it was all bad. I ain't gonna try to grade which bad thing was worse. The defensive pressure that they got rushing the passer was great. It was so much better. In the trenches, they look better. The offensive line looked better. The defensive line looked better. It was the other areas. It was adjustments. Like, you got to make in-game adjustments once you recognize what they're trying to do. Once you see their quarterback is kind of, they picking him up. He's holding the thing off his ribs after every play so he can breathe and stuff like that. Man, you got to put some licks on him. You got to hit him. They stopped the running back runs better this year, but the quarterback, they let him go crazy. I think he had 156-yard rushing on 19 or 20 attempts. So, I mean, if you still giving up 150 plus to somebody on the ground, we can't really call that too good. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this volume back.
Julian Sayin makes his debut as a starter for the Buckeyes.
I think what's lost in the lead-up is that Julian Sayin was also a #1 quarterback in his recruiting class the year after Arch Manning, and he waited last year behind Will Howard, and now Julian Sayin has the keys to the car here for the Buckeyes.
First down and 10 at the 42. They say Sayin can really spin the football, folks, and they will hand it off. C.J. Donaldson, the West Virginia transfer, Gilbo with the tackle.
Yep, much like Texas rebuilt up front, Gus, the offensive line, and they really love what Austin Sarveld has done in the offseason. And then on the outside, this is as talented a group of skill position players as you'll find, and Jeremiah Smith is a guy that...
I want to see if they're going to blanket Jeremiah Smith like they did in the college football playoff, or if he's going to be able to squeeze out some one-on-ones. Let's see.
Change. If they double cover him, they'll watch out for Carnell Tate.
Second down and 8 at the 44. Running it again. Donaldson, power back. He's got great size. 232. Stopped by Burke.
this defense, they've got a bunch of transfers, 5 of them at defensive tackle. They're going to rotate all of them, but they've got stars at every level. Colin Simmons at edge, Anthony Hill at linebacker, and Michael Taff, all of them preseason All-Americans. This secondary is terrific, but I'm watching Colin Simmons, this defensive end. He was specialty downs pass rusher a year ago. Now we'll see what he does on every down, in particular against the run. Ohio State 2 straight runs to start the game.
3rd down and 1 at the 49. Straight ahead, and the Buckeyes won't get it. How about this? Both defenses stout play early, and that'll bring up 4th down and 1.
And stout play from the question mark of each of these defenses, which is the interior of their defensive line, and they do a great job there getting inside of the offensive line, pushing that line back, and now Ohio State will stay on the field. Gus, they'll go for it on 4th down.
From the 49. Donaldson right next to Sayin. Play fake. Sayin will throw it underneath. Caught. Oh, incomplete. On the sideline, Max Clare had it.
Great play call there to go for it on 4th down. Do that play action. He had it in 2 hands. You got to bring that in. You got to bring that in. You can't get 2 hands on the ball and not bring it in. So that was a great play call. 3rd down, they rush. Let's see this throw. Oh yeah, he just clapped and missed it. He clapped and missed it. You got to bring that in. You got to bring that in. So far, so good. I think this is kind of what I expected. I didn't expect either team to start off doing well from the jump. I could envision both teams kind of starting off this way. Both coaches being pretty aggressive, trying to gain that early. So you got Texas trying to get the momentum from Ohio State. You got Ohio State trying to maintain the momentum. So this is what I expected so far. I think now that the jitters are out, we're really going to get to see which offense settles down first. So that's going to be the next key that I'm looking for. Which offense can settle down first? Which play caller can put their QB in a position to take advantage of, the situation that's ahead of them. And we are on a commercial break. Commercial break here. Score is 0-0. We got 8 minutes, 29 seconds left in the first quarter. Arch Manning, he attempted a couple passes. Didn't look bad. The first one, you can tell it was jitters. He threw across his body. It was a dirt ball. Then they went for it 2 times on 4th down. I don't know. This could be something I have in my mind. But when a team goes for it 2 times on the same drive on 4th down, it just shows desperation. And I think you got to get a touchdown on a drive if you're going for it twice on 4th down. Not coming away with the touchdown because you expose what you're going to do on short yardage downs. You expose that to them. You put it on film so they have an idea of what you like to do on short yardage, and you give up 2 of those plays because those plays aren't just valuable when it's 4th and 1, 3rd and short, those things. But it's also valuable if this game goes the distance and then we get into overtime, you expose what you like to do early in those short yardage situations. So just something I'm watching for. Also, I think Coco Gauff I think her match is going on right now. We'll get that turned on the TV. I got so much going on over here, y'all. It's really good to get all this college football back. Just getting college football this weekend. Then next weekend we got NFL. This is just great stuff. Yeah, Coco Gauff match is going on right now. Let me get that on the TV. We are back. Let me get the volume for y'all.
Action pass. Watch Jeremiah Smith. He's open. That ball needs to go from Julian Sand to Jeremiah Smith. You can see the frustration. And Ryan Day on the sideline telling his young quarterback, hey, man, when we dial it up to number 4, that ball has got to go in his direction.
First down and 10 from the 49 for Texas. Wisner up the middle. He'll pick up a few. 4-yard gain. Caden Curry with the tackle.
Don't you get the sense here that both of these play callers, both of these offensive lines, testing these new defensive lines of each opponent. Texas running it straight at the Buckeyes.
2nd and 6 at the 47. Another handoff. Wisner jitterbugging. Tried to find a crease, and he'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Arvell Reese, the junior from Cleveland. They love his aggressiveness.
They really do, and this is a guy. Defensive end a year ago. How are these ends rushing for the Buckeyes?
3rd down and 6 at the 47-yard line. And some movement on the Texas offensive line. That's the right tackle, Brandon Baker.
73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Young player getting his first real action. He's a star in the making, though, folks. This guy will be an early round draft pick in the coming years. But Brandon Baker, just a true sophomore. He's 6'4". He's 308 pounds, trying to deal with this crowd noise.
4 new starters on the Texas offensive line. 3rd down and 11 at the 48. Manning's going to have to let this one fly. Manning off his back foot, checks it down to the sideline. Ohio State prepared. Baxter wrestled down inside Ohio State territory.
That's a good stop there. That's once they got that offsides on the right tackle, they go from 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 11. Now they're 4th and 6. You force their hand to punt. They're not going to go for it on 4th and 6. So that's a great stop by Ohio State's defense. Like I said, we're going to see which offense can settle into the game first.
Meester, the Australian, will send it away, standing at his own 39. First punt of the game for either team. And it's fair caught at the 7. Jeremiah Smith back on the field. You get.
I just don't think we've seen enough of Arch. In his games last year, one thing that stood out to me, I was like, man, he's pretty athletic. He's pretty big. He's not a small kid. So those things, I was like, okay, I can see why you would like his potential. But people crowning him, saying, he's going to have a chance to win the Heisman this year and all that stuff. I think that is way too early to be saying that. We got to see how he handles pressure. And, man, he's in the pressure cooker right now, going to face the defending national champs in their home field. So, we're going to see how this game plays out. If you ask me if he has the potential, I would say yes, he has the tools, but I would say we just haven't seen it. So I'm not one of the people that's crowning him early. I'm saying I want to see what you can do. I want to see what you could do in real live action. So potential's there. We got to see a lot more. I think he started 3 games so far. So it's just, man, the sample size is just way too small to be able to, for me, to just jump out the window and say, oh, man, this dude's going to be so great. There's a lot of people that did that. And it's funny because in the pregame, they were talking about, oh, he got the pedigree and he got the last name. And I was like, man, I knew this was going to happen. Everything that they knocked Shedeur for pre-draft, they use it as a plus when they talk about Arch Manning. It's funny, man. So, we're going to see. We're going to see. But I like the intensity. I like the intensity of the game. I like the pressure. The defenses are understanding and recognizing that they could dominate this game. So I like it so far. I think both defensive line held up pretty well so far. Offensive line's held up pretty well so far. We haven't seen the quarterbacks really pressured. Even on that play, Arch Manning, he had a bunch of time. And he had to just check it down because there wasn't really anything there. So I like what I'm seeing from the defenses. Once they showed it back, they missed a very big play to Jeremiah Smith. He was actually one-on-one. And when Jeremiah Smith is one-on-one, this is what Julian Sand will recognize, that you just got to throw it up to him. You just got to throw it up to him. He's one of those. They won the national championship based on just throwing the ball up to him. So that's just something you got to do. We're back.
Play the Fox Super 6 College Football Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win 5,000 big ones, cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. Gus Johnson, Joel Platt, Jenny Tabb, Tom Rinaldi with you. Julian Sand missed Jeremiah Smith that last time out. Got a feeling they're really going to go to him now. Second offensive possession for the Buckeyes. First down and 10 at their own 8. And they'll hand it off. James Peoples this time. Sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. Stop by Book.
Yeah, both of these offenses playing a bit conservative here, testing out the defensive lines. And this was to be anticipated here with young quarterbacks making starts, trying to rebuild offensive lines and defensive lines early in the season. You get the sense that these two defenses will both be elite, Gus. And right now it's every team in the country, really. The defenses are ahead of the offenses early in the year, and we're seeing that play out here in the first quarter.
After a gain of 1, second down and 9 from the 9. Sand out wide. Smith breaks a tackle, makes a few people miss, and he'll get up the field for a gain of 6.
Now, big third down on the Ohio State side, and just like you were mentioning before the series, they weren't going to go 2 series without letting Ford touch the football. Design screen on the outside, try to make it a more manageable third down, which he's able to do here at 3rd and 3, Gus.
Third and 3 from the 15. Donaldson in the backfield. Now motions out. Empty for Sand. Julian Sand with time underneath. Throws a strike. First down. Ohio State. Max Clare, the Purdue transfer. A game.
I like that play right there. I like that setup. They moved Jeremiah Smith into the slot. So you know all the coverage is going to be that was a tight window throw too. You know all the coverage on that side, they're going to be looking at where Jeremiah Smith is going, and you get the tight end on the deep slant route. So good stuff.
For the first down, 51 catches for close to 700 yards and 4 touchdowns at Purdue last year. Sand, quick strike, and Smith takes his eyes off of it for a second, drops the football.
Nerves for everybody.
Got to bring that one in. They're force feeding you the ball, 2 hands on it. Before you secured the ball, you were already looking upfield, thinking about what you was going to do. You got to secure the ball.
He just reached out and grabbed it one-handed, and Julian saying, he's like, whoa, I haven't seen that much in practice.
Makes a second down and 10 from the 26. Peoples this time. Oh, he's ambushed behind the line of scrimmage. They wrapped him up quickly. Gang tackling LaFau. First man to him. That's a loss of 1.
Boy, I tell you, LaFau was in there quickly. Good speed from that linebacker position. He doesn't get a lot of the.
We got 3rd and long here. So Ohio State's going to be tested. We're going to see if they can push the ball upfield. 3rd and 11. We're going to see how Brian Hartline calls this.
From Hawaii, 3rd down and 11 at the 25. Donaldson back in the game at running back. Sand under pressure. Got it away, and another drop by the Buckeyes. Another drop by Jeremiah Smith. And that brings up 4th down and 11. Ohio State will have to send it away.
And how about the speed here from Simmons? They're going to leave him unblocked on the screen. And watch how quickly he's in the face of the young quarterback. Sayin barely gets this ball away, hits the turf after he releases it. And then on the outside, again, the uncharacteristic second drop of the game of the series for Jeremiah Smith, and they'll punt it away.
Ryan Niblett, the deep man. Joe McGuire takes a step, boots it, and the ball takes an Ohio State bounce and dies around the 25. 50-yard punt. Here comes Arch. He's got legs.
Jeremiah Smith got to take advantage of those opportunities. He is a very good receiver, potentially the best player in college football. Both of those were passes that you got to bring in, especially the first one. Now the screen, they kind of roughed up Julian Sanders as he's throwing it, because they just sent the right pressure from the right spot. But that first pass that he dropped, you got to catch that. You got to catch it. So we're gonna see. We're gonna get another look at Arch Manning. We're gonna see how he does. This is all about, this whole game so far is all about who can settle their nerves first. That is what I'm seeing. Who can get settled in. And I know some people called this game saying, oh, it's going to be a high-scoring game. This is a very big game. This is, to me, the game of the weekend. It's going to take these guys time to settle in. So I wasn't expecting this to be a game where they're going to, each team is putting up 35 or 30-plus points apiece. So I know people called that, and I'm like, man, I just don't see it playing out that way. It's a big stage. Both guys, Arch Manning has a little bit more experience than Julian Sand, but saying they were trying to get him settled in, get him acclimated to being a starter. So, same thing with Arch. Yeah, I'm not looking for this to be them to put up 80 points. We're gonna see. Where's my bot at today, man? My bot is asleep. I was trying to come in here and blow up the stream. What other games are y'all excited for this weekend? I'm excited for that LSU versus Clemson game. We're going to get to see two top quarterbacks with Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik. Yeah, it's crazy. Nothing on the board. The offense got to settle down. Both offenses got to settle down. Neither one of them is really being risky right now. So once they settle down, once the offensive line settle down, once one of them can establish a run game, that's when we'll see them open up a little bit more. That's what I believe. Also, Bill Belichick, they got him on Monday night for UNC. We're going to see how he does. We got the game back. Let's go.
It's time to get on the hype train. We've got the biggest Week 1 college football game of all time, featuring the two best players in college football, and they're both Buckeyes. But the Heisman favorite is a Longhorn, and this is his first season as the starting quarterback, Arch Manning. First down and 10 at the 25 for Texas. Baxter, lone setback, play fake. Manning sets on his back foot, all day to throw. Over the middle, a little high, and incomplete. Injuries, the intended receiver, the tight end.
Injuries is a transfer from Cal. Really complete player. A guy that was very good for Cal in his career. There for the Bears, 91 catches, over 1,000 yards. They're hoping that he can come in and solidify that tight end group. Both of these teams, they have targeted transfers. They don't rebuild in the transfer portal, but where they need someone to come in and fix a hole, they go out and try to get a good player.
Second down and 10. Texas staying on the ground. as Baxter is brought down by Bo Atkinson. A 2-yard gain.
Well, I'm so impressed with both of these rebuilt defensive lines that we see for Texas and for Ohio State. They've been able to hold up against the run. Granted, we're still in the first quarter. So as an offensive coach would say, well, we're just going to keep grinding away and handing the football off and see where we're at in the fourth.
Big third down coming up now for Texas. They need 8 at the 27. Manning steps up in the pocket, makes a move, and he'll be tackled at the line of scrimmage. Ohio State.
Buckeyes get to stop. They get to sack. They get to sack on 3rd and 8. Arch stepped up in the pocket, nowhere to go with the ball. 2 defenders converge on him, get the sack.
Carolina, good pressure right there from 14, and he's able to just flush Manning from the pocket, who's got to hold on to that football as he gets hit from both sides. And how about Matt Patricia in his first quarter as the Buckeyes defensive coordinator? Very happy with what he's seeing from those red jerseys out on the field.
Now Jeremiah Smith lines up as a return man for Ohio State. He's at the 25.
Jeremiah Smith at the returner. I like it. I like it.
Smith with the fair catch at the 20. A 53-yard punt. Tonight on Baseball Night in America, Cal Raleigh, who may.
So these defenses definitely came to play. Ohio State defensive line making the play there. Got to get these guys settled in. First down is so important. You got to get 3 to 4 yards on first down so you can set these guys up well to have an extended drive. You have to. So let's see what Ohio State does. They got the ball. 1st and 10.
I don't know how he got that one, but hey, we're going to leave that one alone.
When you're a power-hitting catcher, maybe that's it.
Maybe
that's what we'll go with, right?
He's squatting a lot.
Oh, man.
First down at 10 of the 20. There's Smith. Lines up at receiver on the near side. They hand it off to Peoples. And it's a gain of 3. Let's go downstairs to the AAG.
Well, guys, how about this? First thing, Jeremiah Smith, when he came off the field, he changed out his gloves. Those were not working. Keep in mind, Jeremiah Smith told me at practice earlier this week, this game against Texas has been one he's been thinking about. The way they took him out of the game last year, he said, I've been watching a lot of film. I feel confident, and trust me, it's been circled on my calendar for a long time.
All right, Jenny, thank you. 2nd and 7 at the 23-yard line. Sand over the middle. Nice completion. Jeremiah Smith breaks a tackle, and he'll pick up 16.
This is a great tell for Ohio State.
Man, the way that they are moving Jeremiah Smith around so they can't just bracket coverage him, man, he was wide open in the zone there, sat out in the zone. Great pass from Julian Sand. Great play. I believe it's 20 Peoples, the running back, for picking up the blitz. So just great all-around play. It might have been Donaldson, but the running back picked up the blitz great there for that pass.
Working just fine, the new ones that Jenny told us about.
Whatever makes him feel better. How about that? Here's a handoff. And that 16-yard completion, longest gain of the day.
Well, and now start to think about these formations and play calls. They got a new play caller here at Ohio State. Chip Kelly, gone to the National Football League, called the plays a year ago. That's Brian Hartline. Has been here for a long time. Great recruiter and great wide receiver coach. And he steps into the seat to call the plays for Ryan Day.
Longtime NFL player as well as a wide receiver. 2nd and 5 at the 44. 4 seconds on the play clock. And that
All right, so the end of the first quarter, scores tied up 0-0. Defense is really holding it down here. Ohio State defensive line looking really good. The Ohio State Buckeyes are on the move. They are moving Jeremiah Smith around. They're getting him some great targets. I believe he had 1 catch for 3 yards in the college football playoff against Texas. They are really shifting the coverage. So when he's on the outside, they got that safety who's near the hashes, and he stands to the outside to make sure he can help over the top with Jeremiah Smith. Smart thing that they're doing. They're moving Jeremiah Smith around. They're putting him in the slot. They're moving a tight end outside of him. They are really making Texas expose what they're doing. And it seems like they're going to bracket him when he's on the outside. But when they get him in the slot, he has more opportunities to get targets. So he already has more receiving yards in this game than he had in the entire playoff game last year. So that's a plus. Brian Hartline, I'm enjoying his play call so far. He's not overwhelming Julian Sand. He's making sure he continues to run the ball, and he's also making sure to move his guy around, because when you have somebody like Jeremiah Smith that commands so much attention, you get the defense to show their hand based on you moving him around. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Ohio State needs to sustain this drive, put some points on the board, and really start putting the pressure on Texas. The game of football is about you taking the pressure off yourself and putting it on the other team and loading up and putting more pressure on them. Beast was asking me about Colorado last night. Colorado had the opportunity to put so much pressure on Georgia Tech, and they were not able to. So that caused them to always be in the chase position. 3 turnovers in the first quarter, and you get 7 points. There's no way it should be that way. So this is Ohio State's opportunity to put that pressure, see how they respond to the pressure. Arch has had some passes that were off target. He overthrew a receiver on that last drive that Texas had. He threw across his body, threw a pass into the dirt, intended for a receiver to look like he had a step on the DB. So you want to keep tightening the screws, put more and more pressure on this Texas team due to their expectations, and seeing how far you can take it. So far, so good. This is a real football chess match here, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So really enjoying this game so far. Are we back? Is commercial break over? Commercial break not over. Man, one thing I noticed, I don't notice it as much when I'm not streaming, but when I'm streaming, I think about, man, these are some long commercial breaks, and it's because I have that internal clock. So I'm thinking maybe it's 30 seconds, maybe it's 1 minute. And these commercial breaks are like 2.5 minutes. I'm like, man, what is going on here? Let's get back to the game. Let's get back to what we want to see. Let me change this up. Let me do this. There we go. So y'all can see it as it's going. I think we are back. We got one more commercial break. I got to be cautious of how soon I play the volume coming out of commercial breaks, because they might have music playing, and I actually had to cut. I had to cut some of my first Cleveland Browns stream due to that. So,
Steelers, so much support here with this program.
How about the draft that they had? 7 players in the first 45 picks.
4 first-round picks, 14 players overall selected in the NFL draft from Ohio State. 2nd and 5 at the 44. Here's the handoff. Peoples makes people miss, picks up a first down. Some hard running by
nice run there by Peoples.
Texas
Nice
was
run.
just barely outmatched. They had 12 players drafted. And Gus, I was talking to Sark on the field before the game, and we were talking about that, and he said, you know what's the most amazing part is that we both reload, and we're 1-3 in the country after all of those players are going to go play on Sundays. And he's exactly right. What Sark has done at Texas, what Ryan Day has done at Ohio State, it's remarkable, building these programs into the preeminent programs, not only in their conferences, but really in the country as well.
First down and 10 at midfield. Saying with time, near side, ball caught, and this time it's Christensen.
Nice play by the tight end right there. He did a chip and release. He was wide open. Nice play. 2nd and 4. That's the down and distance you want for 2nd down. You're right at midfield. The playbook is wide open. That's what you want to get to. You want to get to a lot of opportunities where the playbook is wide open, where you really get the defense on their heels because you have so many options on what you can call.
They've run the ball. They've tried to establish themselves on the ground, and here they are across the 50 in a nothing game.
Saying from Carlsbad, California. That's near San Diego. Play action fake. Sets up D. Slings it. Incomplete. Jeremiah Smith the target. But that one broken up at the last minute.
I think that was 29, Grayson Littleton. How about this guy? He's just a true freshman. He's running across the field with number 4. Ohio State trying to say he got there a little bit early. Maybe, I don't know. That's a tough one to call right there. But
it's hard to call. Yeah, that was hard to call, but he did get there early. He got there early.
Excited about number 29, and even to the point where they're fine having him over the top of number 4, Jeremiah Smith, covering him across the field.
Littleton from Tampa, Florida. 3rd down and 4. True freshman at the 44. Sayin lobs it up top. Incomplete over the shoulder grab. Littleton in coverage. Brandon Ennis the target, and Hero Canoe, the former Buckeye for Texas, was pressuring Julian Sayin.
Oh, we're starting to see why the coaches love number 29, right? You start making plays like that. There is a flag on the field, and it is in the backfield.
Personal foul. Face mask on the defense.
Oh, wow.
15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
I did see Gus Phillip Daniels, number 70. His helmet popped off, and he started jogging off to the sideline. But if it comes off your head because of a penalty, then you can stay in the game. So not only does Daniels stay in the game, but they get the free first down after those 2 nice plays from Littleton. Hand up in the face from...
Man, that was a crazy face mask. He ripped dude's helmet off. You can't be mad at nobody. That's a face mask, bro. That's crazy.
So a first down from the Texas 29 for Ohio State. C.J. Donaldson, the pistol back. They give it to him, and he's lucky to get across the line of scrimmage. A gain of 1.
I'll tell you, they are.
These defensive lines are playing good. 2nd and 9 for Ohio State. Also, man, that was quick. Coco Gauff got the dub. Looked like she might have won a straight set, so she got the dub. Now, full focus on Ohio State. Let's go.
That's right. He's exactly right. Tips and overthrows wind up as turnovers.
2nd and 9 to the 28. Sayin scrambles, and he will just dump it out of play. A flag, though, thrown. Jeremiah Smith looking at the official, and this is going to go against Texas.
Holding on the defense. Number 4. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So referee David Smith, SEC official. There's the hold right there as Smith was trying to break out as Sayin left the pocket. A bit of a hold right there from Malik Muhammad. It was on 5. They announced 4, Jelani McDonald, but that...
Man, they're so afraid of Jeremiah Smith. He's holding him early in the play. Held him twice. Crazy. Ohio State got to take advantage of this. 1st down and 10. They got to take advantage of this, right? I believe they're in the red zone now, so you got to take advantage of it. They're in the red zone. We got a stoppage here by the officials. I'm not sure what they're speaking on.
Official stopped the play near side here.
The spot should be the 28-yard line, not the 29. 28-yard line.
Does he mean the 18? 28 is 10 yards away.
It's the 18.
Yes,
it's the 18.
Yeah, it's the officials, their first game too. I was all confused. I'm like, wait, you taking the ball 10 yards back? They weren't that far back. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Jeremiah Smith is a dog. It's crazy to think he only a sophomore.
First down at the 18. Carnell Tate in motion. We haven't called his name yet. He lines up in the slot. He's a spectacular talent. Here's the handoff. Donaldson pushes the pile forward. And Ohio State churning, picking up yards. That's 7 the hard way.
And they really were excited about getting C.J. Donaldson in the transfer portal. Comes in from West Virginia, and he came in actually, Gus, about 240 pounds. He walked in, and Mick Moriarty, their strength coach, said, yep, not for long. And now he's down to 225, a little bit slimmer and more explosive, but he still retained that power that he was known for. And you're seeing some of that power on these interior runs. Donaldson, only Power 4 player with 11-plus touchdowns in each of his last 2 seasons. That was for the Mountaineers, now here for the Buckeyes.
2,000 yards over 3 seasons and scored 30 rushing touchdowns. Again, a first down for Donaldson. C.J. Donaldson, big guy.
Ohio State really leaning on their offensive line to try to get this thing in for a touchdown. So watching to see how it goes. Beast, you asked me, do you think Coach Prime a good head coach or no? I think Coach Prime is a good head coach. I think Coach Prime has things he can work on, mainly clock-related situations. The last 2 years, he had issues with managing the clock.
Here's the handoff. Peoples trying to find a seam, and they'll back him up after he crosses the line of scrimmage. Michael Taft there, gain of 2.
You know, I thought that
so much of being a head coach is managing the clock, is managing the game, and it's just a couple times that come to mind where I can recall they just did some weird things with clock management. He needs to get better at when to use timeouts, when not to use timeouts. The last couple of years, they've always burned timeouts early, which didn't make sense and came to bite them later.
And they go straight ahead again for Donaldson. Trying to use that big body, and he'll pick up a couple. Talk about those running backs, Travion Henderson drafted in this.
All right, we have 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal is you're in the red zone. You are at the Texas 4 or the 2. You're at the Texas 2 yards. This should be 4-down territory, and this is where you can get creative. You got to get 2 yards. You've been running it a lot. You can really throw them off here. I believe they're in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. Yes, they are. Jeremiah Smith to the side by himself.
they're going to call timeout here from the sideline.
Extra offensive lineman in the game for Ohio State. So here's a timeout. 9:41 to play, second quarter, no score. But the world-famous Buckeyes knocking on the...
Ohio State trying to make something happen here. They called a timeout, just making sure that they get this in for a touchdown. Beast, what do you think about Coach Prime as a head coach? Like, I think as a recruiter, I think he's above average recruiter. He seems to be above average in putting the staff together. He seems to be good at getting better at things where they had their biggest weaknesses. So their offensive line from year 1 to year 3, their offensive line look a lot better. Their defensive line, they didn't really have guys in the trenches in year 1. From year 1 to year 3, the defensive line looks better. Skill players, he can always get skill players. So I think this year will determine how a lot of people view him, because it's funny. On the broadcast, I heard him saying, oh, you don't have Shedeur, you don't have Travis Hunter, as if he didn't recruit Travis Hunter, and if Shedeur wasn't his son that, he brought there with him. So it was Shedeur and Travis Hunter good, or were they bad? Because now on the college broadcast, y'all saying they're good. People are questioning Shedeur, the NFL, saying he wasn't a good college quarterback. So I'm just confused. Which one is it? Shedeur good in college, or was he bad in college? Because when you want to use that as a narrative where you say you want to see how he does without him, to me, that leads me to believe you think he was good. So That's my take. But you definitely don't want to lose a game like they did in game 1 and kind of put yourself out of contention, because how many ranked teams are going to be in the Big 12? You want to strive to make the college football playoff, and you just made it way tougher to do that when you have a game where you should be able to take advantage of it and you should be able to do better. Still on commercial break here. We are back. Let's see what Ohio State does. They really need to push this thing in here for a touchdown. They want to flip the pressure. They want to put all the pressure on Texas. That's what you got to flip the pressure.
I'm really not, and only because, last year these were 2 of the 3 best defenses in all of college football, and they returned a lot of talented players on every level of their defense, in particular on this Texas side. In a lot of cases, I was telling people before the year, I thought Texas could have the best defense in the country this year, and they've certainly made it difficult on Ohio State. A couple of penalties on Texas on this series. This SEC officiating crew throwing those flags, and they've helped out the Buckeyes on this series getting down here.
3rd down and goal at the 2. Donaldson. Texas getting pressure. Looks like it was Cole Brevard getting inside the backfield.
Yeah, this interior defensive line.
See, right there, I wanted to see Ohio State get a lot more creative. You had two cracks at it. So if you're just going to run the ball, that's one of those ones where you say, we're going to throw it up to Jeremiah Smith. They got him one-on-one coverage over there because you got that 4th down in your pocket when you're going to go for it. So definitely would like to see a more creative play. And also, I'll say what I feel about that in a second, Beast.
And they'll hand it off. Donaldson! Touchdown, Bucks! C.J. Donaldson.
All right, so Ohio State, they go in a traditional goal line formation, and they put the Hogs in there, and they get in for the touchdown. So, hey, they told me to shut up on my commentary, because as soon as they went to a traditional goal line set, they got the ball in for a touchdown. So they told me to shut up. Donaldson got in over the left guard. So touchdown, Ohio State. All right, now, Beast. If they don't beat the Delaware Blue Hens next week, the season is over with. I would tend to agree with you. Georgia Tech has a very unique play style with the triple option just being part of their history. So we're going to give you one. We'll give you one mulligan where we'll say, okay, that was something different. Nobody's probably going to run the option the amount of times they ran it and the way that they run it. But Delaware and some of the talent that you have there, you got to improve offensive line, improve defensive line, and you can't beat Delaware, then we really got to question what you got going on. We really got to question it. So I would definitely agree with you there. Now we're going to get to see Arch Manning with a little bit of pressure, because Texas offense hasn't really been able to move the ball that well against Ohio State's defense. One thing I will say, this is Arch Manning's second commercial that they're showing. His first commercial, so I'm watching the Fox feed. His first commercial was for some glasses. Now this is an apparel commercial that he has a commercial for. So he's definitely not short on the NIL deals. And then also, so I got Ohio State in front of me. I got my X account up so I can see clips of other college football games going on. And then also further to the right, I have my TV screen, and I have that on ESPN. And this is, who is this? Mississippi. I think it's Mississippi versus Southern. It's tied up 10-10. I think that's the game that I got going on over there. Yes. I'm going to need Arch to do something. I agree with you right there, Beast. He has to. Hey, you got to show why people are, saying you're the man. You got the potential to win the Heisman. When you play against these lower ranked teams, you put up crazy numbers. That's cool. People want to see how you do when it's good on good. That's what determines how good somebody is. When it's good on good, do you show up? Do you produce? Do you make a difference? Are you the reason why your team is having success? So if all else, we can look at who most people believe is the best player in the country and Jeremiah Smith. We know that he is proving why. So now we got to see Arch. Hey, they threw you up there. They say you're going to be a Heisman candidate. Everybody's saying you're going to be the first overall pick if you come out after this year. We want to see it. We want to see it. Don't just tell me. Don't just tell me his last name and intangibles and athletic. We want to see it. All right, we're back.
For nearly 160 years. Been a good one so far, dominated by defense. Buckeyes finally getting on the board. Nice offensive series, helped out by a couple of penalties on Texas. And they've got to feel good about how their young quarterback, Julian Sayin, has played so far. Arch Manning only 3 of 5 for 13 yards. C.J. Baxter back on the field, finally healthy, 5 carries for 24. They've targeted Smith now 6 times. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards, and the Buckeyes with that 7-0 lead.
Weisner back deep.
All right, kick off.
And this one will go out of the back of the end zone. Now, Fox College Football Saturday continues next as South Dakota takes on number 22 Iowa State, who beat Kansas State in their first game this season in Ireland. Then later tonight, Utah battles UCLA at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, the game I have on my TV is Mississippi State and Southern Miss tied up 10-10. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So I got football all over. This is going to be a long day of me watching football. I'm not going to stream all day, but I'm checking out all the quarterbacks that people have been talking about. We got Arch Manning now. We got Lenore Sellers. I'm going to check him out today. We got Cade Klubnik, Nussmeier. So I'm checking out everybody.
Empty backfield for Manning. He runs it. Gets outside, shows a burst, and picks up 7, maybe 8 yards on the play. It's almost unfair in a way, Joel, that in his first start, he has to go against not only a former head coach in the NFL, a defensive coordinator for Bill Belichick, who's won 3 Super Bowls.
So I always listen to how they talk about situations, and they are saying it's almost unfair based on who Arch Manning has to go against when he gets his first start. Could you not say the same thing for Julian Sayin?
Second down and 1 at the 34. And Texas will pick up the first down. And that was Weisner. Let's go downstairs to Tom Rinaldi.
That's a long wait during that Buckeye scoring drive, and you're not going to see any emotion or sense of panic at all from Arch Manning. Comes over, same routine each time. Sits and talks to his quarterback coach, A.J. Milweed, the backup, Matt Caldwell. Doesn't show a lot of emotion, studies the tablet, gets up and gets ready to go. Defensively, some real frustration from Travis Shaw, challenging his people on the front line defensively.
Quick strike, Manning, incomplete. Thank you, Tom. That one underthrown. DeAndre Moore Jr., the intended receiver.
You know, when Texas scuffles a little bit offensively and when they have a hard time getting going, you go back and Steve Sark has been this way ever since he was calling plays all the way back to Washington and USC. But when his offense needs a spark, generally he does it through formation or movement and trying to get a misdirection type of play going. I wonder if they'll try one of those type of plays here in the next few snaps.
We haven't mentioned Wingo's name. Here's the strike on the outside, and it's Ryan Wingo. Finally gets him into the act. McClain there to usher him out of bounds.
Great call, partner. He's got the elite speed on the outside, and that's something that Sark wants to attack with, is getting his playmakers the ball in space and an opportunity to work against that defense, and he's finally able to get the ball to Ryan Wingo.
Wingo changed his number from 5 to 1 this season. 3rd down and 3 at the 44. Can Texas continue to move the chains? Manning bounces out of the pocket. Burst of speed, looking for the first down. Oh, he's chopped down by Styles right before he gets to the marker. Let's see if he got it.
Arch Manning takes a big hit there. Let's see if they give him the first down. It's really close. Let's see where they mark this at.
It's a first down.
A Tell you what, he did a nice job keeping that ball in that right arm because it started coming away from his body. He's trying to get the sticks right there at the line to gain. And how about the hit right there from Lorenzo Styles, who comes in and kind of
that's real close, but they're going to get the first down.
It's a first down.
Arvell Reese with pressure. First down at the 47 for Texas. Down 7-0. Play fake. Manning, he's going to uncork it. Throws it deep. Double coverage, incomplete. Wingo, the target. McClain there, as well as Matthews for Ohio State.
Tell you, this is really good coverage because you've got elite speed right here from Ryan Wingo, and they're able to get the safety to run with him. That's Jalen McClain, and then that opposite corner, Jermaine Matthews, he just took off from his position and went back deep into the field and ran underneath the route. That's number 7 right there. Excellent coverage for the Bucks.
Second down and 10 of the 47. 6:32 remaining in the second quarter. And they'll hand it off. Baxter, not a lot, if any. Kenyatta Jackson jumping on top. No gain.
Boy, you see that red.
All right, 3rd and 10. Another opportunity for this Ohio State defense to get off the field. Another opportunity for them to get off the field. They're right around midfield. We're going to see what Matt Patricia dials up to try to get this stop on 3rd and 10. And also, we're going to see what Texas dials up as well. Let's go.
Is at all times.
Texas 1 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. They need 10 here. Manning stepping up, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Arvell Reese.
Ohio State comes up big there. They get the sack. Ohio State just did something very sneaky. They brought Caleb Downs to the left side. He faked like he was going to blitz. He didn't blitz. He dropped out in coverage, and that bought them enough time to get to Arch Manning. So I like how they use Caleb Downs right there.
Ready to send it away. And this one will be down deep inside Ohio State territory.
Great punt. They back Ohio State up. Looks like they're around the 1 yard line. So that was definitely a great punt. Or actually, they officially marked them at the 2 yard line. So Texas trying to flip the field here. Ohio State defense is definitely holding up. And it's a dogfight. You know, when you are, 2 of the top 3 teams in the country, these are the type of games you're going to get. If Ohio State can extend this drive out, all they're going to do is keep shifting the pressure to the Texas side, and you will see them start to press. So another opportunity here for Ohio State. We're going to see how Brian Hartline calls this thing. I'm guessing he's going to start off conservative. If they can get a 5 or 6 yard run, then he might spread them out, try to throw the ball so they can get a drive going. I don't believe he's going to put Julian Sand in a position to throw the ball from his own end zone, which, I wouldn't. I would try to use our offensive line and try to get some yards first before putting him in harm's way. So we're going to see how they call it. We're going to see what they do. But this is a good game. I know a lot of people might not like this because, it's a low-scoring game. But this is what happens. When it's good on good and teams are close in their talent level, the games are going to be like this. It's not just going to be these blowouts. Blowouts happen when the talent level isn't the same or one team has a lot of mistakes. But when it's good on good and teams are about the same, this is what you're going to get. I think this is great football because this goes more into the mental side of football and how you respond when things aren't necessarily going your way. So I think this is bringing a great side of football out when it's not just teams running up and down the field. So what do y'all think? How are y'all enjoying this game so far? Are you expecting more? Did you think this was going to be a high-scoring game? Did you think Arch Manning was, going to throw for 300 yards? One thing I'm a little nervous about. Now, I'll tell y'all, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm rooting for Ohio State. They started moving the ball on that last drive when Arch Manning did a quarterback keeper on first down. He ran for the first down. So if they're going to use his athleticism and his legs, that's what I'm nervous about. When you have a true quarterback who can move the chains with his legs, that's when you have the advantage because it's the player that's rarely defended for. So that would be my only concern in this game moving forward for Ohio State if they get Arch Manning and he starts to take advantage of running opportunities. I don't know how much they're going to do that, but we're going to see. That's my only concern. We got the game back. Let's go.
By Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. Last year's CFP semifinal game down to 2 big plays. Travion Henderson's 75-yard touchdown at the end of the first half. And I tell you what, folks, Jack Sawyer's 83-yard fumble return for a touchdown in the fourth quarter. That was like watching a movie.
It was, and he's here today. Jack Sawyer watching his Buckeyes. You're exactly right, Gus. That's a great call. It's like a movie. You know what I love? I was talking with JT Tuimoloau, his defensive inmate on the other side. You know what Jack asked at the end of the play? What? JT, did I look fast?
Yes, you did, Jack. First down and 10, and Ohio State running it. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT.
Well, speaking of those two, when Ohio State's D-line came off the field, it wasn't D-line coach Larry Johnson to address the group first. He actually allowed Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau to have the first word. JT telling the guys they can't handle us. We need to slow them down. No let up here. As Joel mentioned, JT's been pacing. He said, it is so hard for me to not be a part of this game, but I'm doing my best to coach these guys up.
All right, Jenny, I ran into a basketball coach last night. A high school basketball coach. He said his team played against Jack Sawyer, and Sawyer had 33 and 15 boards. He can really play the game of basketball as well. Athlete. Second down and 7 at the 5. And that'll be a 4-yard pickup for Peoples.
Well, this becomes a really big down right here because for Texas, if you can get off the field and you can get a stop here, you're going to get the ball around the 50-yard line. You know, maybe plus of the 50, maybe just in your side of the field. But a defensive stop here would go a long way in creating momentum for the offense on the next series. Pete Kwiatkowski knows that, the defensive coordinator. I would expect him to really load up, maybe put some pressure on Julian Sayin here, and certainly play an aggressive style of defense trying to force this punt.
Third down and 3 at the 9. Peoples, the lone setback. Play fake. Sayin in the end zone. Throws it. Caught on the sideline. That's Carnell Tate. And a first down. Tough throw.
Great throw and catch right there to Carnell Tate for 9 yards to get the first down. 2 Ohio State players ran into each other. 2 tight ends ran into each other, and it looks like that was going to be his first or second read. So I'm saying, oh, no. But Carnell Tate got that, caught it with 2 hands away from the body, and he's able to bring it in for a catch. Ohio State first down.
Short completion, nobody there, and watch Ryan Day looking at Carnell Tate. He says, yep, it's down. First down.
First down and 10 to the 18 now for the Bucks with some breathing room. Here's a handoff. Peoples trying to get outside. Nothing. Tell you what, remember we've been working together for, this is our 11th year.
Yeah.
And I've been doing Texas football for 15 years. Remember when they used to win games 52-50?
Yes, I do. Back those Big 12 years, man, we would do like the Red River shootout, and it was a shootout. I still call it shootout. Okay, you can call it rivalry. I call it shootout. Whatever. Defense was optional back in the Big 12. Now, these are elite defenses that we're seeing play.
Chicago, yes, they are. Texas under Coach Sarkisian. Second and 10 at the 18. Here comes a blitz. Sayin stands in the pocket, dumps it down, incomplete. His tight end was not ready for that one, Max Clare.
Some miscommunication there. Clare looked like he was out there trying to throw a block, and Sayin had that pressure in his face and had to get rid of the football, and now another big third down here. We'll see if Texas can get off the field. They could establish some good field position. Maybe not quite as good as I was talking about earlier, but still good getting into this 2-minute timeout.
Sands done a really nice job of managing the game so far.
Yeah, that's one of the things Will Howard, their quarterback last year, told me about, saying is he felt like from a decision-making perspective, he was going to be just fine. He's very careful with the football and knows where to go with it.
Third down and 10 of the 18. Julian Saying with time underneath, caught, not enough for first down. Jeremiah Smith with the reception, a gain of 5, and that will take us to the 2-minute timeout.
All right, so we made it to the 2-minute timeout. After the break, Ohio State is going to be punting the ball. We're going to get to see Arch Manning run a 2-minute drill. I believe Texas has 2 timeouts, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they have 2 timeouts. So this will be good. We're getting to see Arch Manning in a lot of different scenarios. So I think this is what you want to see. You know, when everybody crowning him as one of the top 2 QBs coming out, you know, we get to see what he's about. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to see. Let me check out. Let me do something real quick. This is just a test, so stay with me. All right, so let me do something. Just working on some stuff. When we go to halftime, I am going to be taking just a quick short break, and then we'll get to what's actually happening in the game, and just, you know, give a recap. But I will take a quick short break. This is going to be a long haul stream. We're going to be streaming the entire game, and then we're going to be breaking it down at halftime. What are our thoughts from the first half, and then after the first half, we're going to break it down, our thoughts. Oh, that's a Heisman commercial. We're going to be breaking down our thoughts for the full game. So this is a commercial break. I'm not going to do a chat. Eventually, I'm going to do some reads. But if you just look in the chat, my chat bot is there. I'm a Fanatics partner. I'm a Streamlabs partner. Links are in the description. If you are looking to get your fan gear, definitely tap in. It helps the channel. Link is in the description for any type of gear that you can get for game day. And then also Streamlabs, if you're looking to become a streamer or get into streaming based on whatever subject or topics you want to speak on, definitely tap in with that link. You'll get a free trial of Streamlabs Ultra. It'll be a 7-day trial. So we're getting back to the game soon. We are back. Let's go. Ohio State is up to punt.
Tony with you on the field. Coming up on the State Farm at halftime, we'll highlight the frustrations early on, at least, of the nation's #1 player, Jeremiah Smith. Number 24, Tennessee, off to a strong start against Syracuse, and Maryland may have found their quarterback for the future in the form of a true freshman. Guys, we'll have all that coming up at the half. And Gus, I don't know what it is, but something about you looks really good today, man.
Folks, I left my shirt in L.A., so I had to borrow one of Rob Stone's shirt. I feel very close to him today. Holy Chicago.
He did it. He said it right there.
He said it.
Right on the tees.
And this will punt it out of bounds. So in the meantime, now it's time.
Not the greatest punt there. Arch Manning is going to get a great opportunity here to see if he can come and put some points on the board. Man, this is tough. So we got 1st and 10 at the Texas 47-yard line. So just like that, they'll be in Ohio State territory because it wasn't the greatest punt. Also, Texas has 3 timeouts to run this drill. So.
Oh, man.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Look at this handsome guy
He didn't
right
have
there.
a beard back then.
That's right. He didn't.
We ran into his son at the seminar. Looks just like him. He's already committed as a junior to SMU. Matt Leinert's son. First down and 10 at the 47. Here's Manning underneath. That one thrown high, incomplete.
Arch has missed a couple passes high. If I can remember back, I think this might be his third pass he's missed high. So he just got to settle in, because he's getting lucky where he's missing these passes at when they're high. Usually high passes go right to safety, so he got to settle down.
Here in a big drive, they'll go to that side of the field.
Second down and 10 at the 47. Baxter in the backfield. They give it to him. He jitterbugs and crosses the line of scrimmage. Stopped by Arvell Reese. A gain of 2.
I'll tell you what, it's been a pretty.
So this is 3rd and 8. This is where, depending on what happens on this play, if you get a short, if you stop them third and it's 3rd and 6 or longer, if I'm Ohio State, I'm using one of my 2 timeouts. I'm forcing them to punt us the ball. So we're going to see what they do here.
3rd down and 8 at the 49. Arch Manning under pressure. Takes his time. Shovels it off. Not enough for first down. C.J. Baxter. Gain of 6, and I'd love the coverage for Ohio State in the secondary.
I tell you, they're going to keep their offense on the field right here and bleed a little bit of clock. This is one of the, if I was Ryan Day, I would think about a timeout right here because you could save some time if you're able to stop them on 4th down.
So here we go, 4th down and 2. And a timeout by Ohio State.
So that's the same thing I was thinking. Ohio State did take the timeout instead of letting them burn the clock down and then punt it out and get out of this half. No, you want to put everything you're doing. Remember, I'm going to keep saying this. Everything you're doing is to continuously add additional pressure to Texas. So that's why you call the timeout there. Everything you're doing is to put that pressure on them. We're not going to let you take this clock from 43 seconds, burn 30-plus seconds off the clock, and then punt it and then go to the half. Nope. We're going to put some pressure on you to make you defend if we choose to move forward. So it was only a 30-second timeout. We are back.
43 seconds left. First half, 4th down and 3. At the 46 for Texas.
Texas keeping their offense out there, so they're truly going forward on 4th down.
And now a timeout by UT.
I don't understand that timeout. Maybe they wanted to see the defensive call, see what coverage they were in. They did have 3 timeouts, so I'm guessing they're saying we're going to see the coverage they give us. We probably can burn one here. Maybe that's what they're doing. But, it's just sometimes coaches get a little too cute and they get to playing this back and forth mental game, and, they kind of put themselves in a rough spot. So we're going to see, hopefully it's just a 30-second timeout, and then we get back to the game. So we're almost back. I just got to be mindful of, when I bring, they punted it.
Over to the sideline, lets it take a bounce, and bounces out of bounds inside the Ohio State 5 with 35 seconds to go and 43-yard punt.
That was a poor job by the broadcasters of the game. They kept it. They started the play not showing the field. So that's why y'all heard me say, they punted it. That was just a poor job by them. I see Ohio State 1 timeout. You're inside the 10-yard line. Texas has 2 timeouts. Now they can play the flip the field punt game. So, and they probably can throw up a Hail Mary at the end. So you got to run the ball. You got to get some yards here.
What JT Tuimoloau, but you're probably going to get some sort of play like that. Maybe a straight run, see if you can pop it. Certainly not going to be too aggressive right here with the young quarterback in the lead 7-0.
So tight formation. Looks like Sam may take a knee. And he basically does. And the Buckeyes will let this clock wind down and head into the locker room with a 7-0 lead over Texas. It wasn't what we thought it would be the first half.
I'll tell you, these defenses have played really great. The young quarterback, Sayan, has found a rhythm. Arch Manning has not. Arch and that Texas offense totally stymied in this first half by the defense of the Buckeyes, and they're going to have to go regroup and find out what they're going to change in order to get something going in this second half.
All right, so it is halftime. See, that's why I didn't like Texas burning that timeout and then just punting the ball. If they kept that timeout and you got them inside the 5, you could have forced them to run the ball. You could have called 3 timeouts and potentially got them to kick the ball back to you, and you get the opportunity for a Hail Mary. So just that one decision, just running your offense back out there when you knew you weren't going to actually run a play, burn a timeout, it flipped what you were able to do. So just I don't like the decision. I called it in the moment. I didn't like the decision because you take your options away. You want to go into every situation with the most amount of options as possible. So we're going to get a quick break in. This is going to be a pretty long stream. We made it through the first half. We are going to get a quick break in. So you'll see the orange on the screen. I'll be right back. We are back. We are back. Thank y'all for tapping in with me. So let's go over some takeaways from the first half. Just off the top of my mind, my takeaways are Ohio State. They lost 14 players to the NFL draft. Texas lost 12 players to the NFL draft. Ohio State, they've retooled their offensive line. Ohio State's offensive line haven't been giving up a lot of pressure. At times, they've been getting some good running lanes for the rushers. They rushed that touchdown. They had a rushing touchdown. They only scored the game. So it's just some things that, had some things that were question marks because they're retooling the offensive and defensive lines was some things that people were looking at. So I think that's checking the plus side. Julian saying is not looking like the moment is too big and he's forcing anything. So he's doing a good job of taking what the defense is giving him. He's made some good throws out there. I like his accuracy. I like his decision making. Flip it over to Texas. Arch Manning has been more under duress. He's been sacked more. He's looked good when he's taken advantage of his athletic abilities and use his legs to scramble or run or extend plays. He's looked good in those moments. The thing that Arch Manning has to work on is his accuracy. He has been high on some passes. He has thrown passes low in the dirt. He's currently 5 of 10 for 26 yards. So you definitely want to see more. You want to see more out of him than that. But, it's early in the season. I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to crush Arch Manning for this performance. This is him being a full-time starter, his first start. I would just say that this should temper some of the Heisman talk. And that's just, to me, been way too much, way too soon before he got the chance to really do anything. So let's listen in to the broadcast and see what they have to say at halftime. Let me get back to it.
Quarterback design runs in order for him to get into a rhythm and be more effective. But I want to talk about the other superstar in this game. It's Jeremiah Smith. Got off to a slow start, a bit frustrating. Had a couple of drops. This one on a 4th down, a play action shot. They've got him one-on-one. You have to take the shot. And Vaughn is going to Max Clary. He dropped him the sideline, but you can sense his frustration. He knows he's not going to get many one-on-one opportunities. And then here, easy catch and run football for a potentially big gain. And then on a screen, almost hearing footsteps and trying to run before he catches the football. But they ended up getting him back into the game. He's their leading receiver for Ohio State right now. They're doing a good job of moving him around. Credit Brian Hartline for getting him back, your best player.
Beast, I agree with that. Arch hasn't shown anything yet. That I agree with, because if you're gonna put him, if they're gonna put him up there and say he's in the category of Heisman winners and who should win the Heisman, and this is how he looks, it's gonna be a lot of people who are it's gonna be a lot of people making a lot of excuses this week. Let me say that. I mean, you could look at it and say Julian Sand looks better than him. Julian Sand looks more composed. Julian Sand looks like the moment isn't too big. He's making the right decisions, making the right reads. Now, the flip side of that is Ohio State's defense is no joke. So you can say that, but they got to slow down with this Arch Manning for Heisman talk, But I want to see the other guys. One thing they also told us is this is a better year for. How you doing? How you doing, Mrs. Brown? I also want to see how some of these projected top quarterbacks do. So I'm going to be watching Carson back at Miami. I'm going to be watching Lenore Sellers when South Carolina plays. I'm going to be watching the Klubnik when they play They play LSU. I'm going to be watching Nussmeier for LSU. So we're going to get to see a lot of these quarterbacks. So, I'm going to be the person that's going to hold the receipts when they're saying, oh, we're just holding out for a quarterback next year. And they're telling us, the Cleveland Browns are writing off this whole year for a quarterback next year. I'm going to watch the quarterbacks. And then when we get to draft time next year, I have a recollection and a memory of how these quarterbacks actually did. So, I'm going to be holding those receipts and saying, hey, is this your king? So that's what I'll be doing. Let's see what else they got to say on the show.
Tennessee, they had to endure some offseason quarterback carousel activity. In the end, they settled on former UCLA signal caller Joey Aguilar. His first start as the Vols came into Atlanta to take on Syracuse. There's Aguilar, former UCLA.
Man, everything they play, they got music playing in the background. So Tennessee looking good against Syracuse. But, man, they got music playing in the background. So I just got to be careful because when you're playing that much music, it's one of those situations where, I might have to edit the stream and, then when you got like a copyright notice on it, they don't push it to everybody the same way. So just got to be careful during this halftime show when they're playing music like that. So this is a game I was watching earlier, Mississippi State, Southern Miss. It was tied up 10-10 the last time I saw. All right, now it's Mississippi State 13, Southern Miss 10 at halftime. Southern Miss's coach was really hyped when they scored that touchdown. We got Florida Atlantic and Maryland. Look like Maryland. Is that Maryland? Yeah, Maryland got the pick six for a touchdown. They're up 12-7. And I believe I heard them say Maryland is starting a true freshman quarterback. I think he's a lefty, so I'm going to have to check them out too. Purdue at Ball State. Purdue starting out good. Purdue starting out really good, 21-0. They got Ball State got a hand pass the controller. Pass the controller. Tulane and Northwestern. I remember Northwestern was a powerhouse. Man, Tulane's quarterback just took off. Tulane is winning 20-3 at halftime, and their quarterback just took off on a 65-yard run. It's crazy. What we got here? We got Pitt. Pitt's up 34-6 halftime. That's not looking like a close game at all. We got Navy and VMI. I don't know who VMI is. Navy pushing it in for a score. Is Navy running the score up on them? Man, 28-0. Man, a lot of these teams, man, pass the controller. Your game time is over. Your day is over. All right, we got Toledo at Kentucky. Looks like an interception by Kentucky. And that's a weird game right there. You got Kentucky leading 7-2. That's just a weird score there. One thing I'll commend college football on putting a good slate of games on for this full opening weekend. I mean, last night we got Colorado, Georgia Tech. That's a draw. Big noon kickoff. You got Ohio State, Texas, two of the top three teams. That's a draw. Then we got LSU. We got LSU, Clemson as a 7:30 game. We got Georgia playing on ESPN at 3:30. I can't remember who Georgia's playing. We got Bill Belichick in North Carolina, 7:30 Monday night. We got a lot of good games. This opening weekend is really good. I kind of looked ahead as I'm like planning out my streams that I'm going to do. And I was like, man, in reality, I could have streamed for 10 hours today watching college football. But looking into the next couple of weeks, everybody, they are playing the lesser or the lower tier games after this week. So, and they opened it up right. So you got to enjoy what they're doing to start it off. Man, I'm ready to get back to the game. Y'all ready to get back to the game? These breaks, man. Oh man, how much How much time you gonna give us at halftime? Hopefully, once we make it through this next break, we actually get into the game. We're gonna see. Another commercial, y'all. Another commercial. I'm excited. Are y'all excited for the football season to finally be here? Are y'all excited to be past the point of only seeing people commentate on football, people speak on football, people saying how good somebody should be or how bad somebody should be when everything happens on the field? Are y'all excited for that? I know I'm excited for that because this is my first year of fully going through, doing more live streams, putting out more videos and being like, just going all in on it. And so much of this is talk, and people get so much of this wrong when they try to speculate. And that part is kind of funny to me because people don't want to be held accountable when they say so many bad things, or not bad. That's not the right word. When they say so many and they get so many things wrong. And then they prop them up on TV like, oh, this is the expert. This is a specialist. It's like, dang, you really a specialist when you're wrong 70% of the time? So it's just crazy. Just some things I noticed. Man, I'm getting antsy over here. Second half, where you at? Let's check out X. See if we got any other highlights that I missed. Man, we got another commercial. I saw the Tulane stuff. Tom Brady had a commercial there. So if y'all have been following me, you've been watching me doing a lot of stuff where I've been talking about the Cleveland Browns. I want to say something to y'all. Everybody is finally catching up to the thoughts that I already had. So I just was like, let me scroll on X as I'm waiting for the game to come back on. And I go to, this is Jonathan Peterlin. He's on 92.3 The Fan. And he has a picture. It looks like, is that Ohio State? I don't know. Are they at the Ohio State game? But you got Andrew Berry and you got Jimmy Haslam. I think that's Ohio State. They might be at the Ohio State game on the sidelines, and they are talking to Albert Breer. Good old Mr. Albert. Remember I was telling y'all Albert Breer was just getting fed information? Do y'all believe me now? Do y'all believe me now? We got some sound back. Let's get back to the sounds of the game. Let's go.
Explosions, Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith. Different story was defense.
Defenses were great. They really were. Even some of those young players, the unproven defensive lines. And there was also some miscues and some first game jitters, which we should anticipate here in these monster openers, in particular a monster opener of this magnitude. But it really started with Arch, and that was where all the focus was to begin this game. And Arch Manning came in, and let's face it, it was a sloppy first half. That was really his first pass attempt right there. It was thrown at the feet, and then the defense got going. They got after him from a pressure standpoint. They made it tough on him from a coverage standpoint. Then Texas's defense made a mistake on third down. The face mask penalty on Colin Simmons gave Ohio State new life. They took advantage of that penalty, and they punched it into the end zone. C.J. Donaldson into the end zone, and that's where we stand. These offenses going to have to make major changes here at halftime in order to get themselves going.
All right, let's go downstairs to Tom Rinaldi.
Gus, thank you very much. Talking to Steve Sarkisian, he started on the defensive side of the ball and said those penalties.
So I'm just doing a little bit of scrolling here on X as we're waiting for the game to start back up. And remember, I told y'all, I said, look, based on how Arch has looked, it's going to be a lot of people making excuses. They are already making excuses. So this is someone who covers the Cavs. I believe he also covers the Browns from time to time. Chris Fedor. He says, Sark before the game, we're going to let him rip, and then proceeds to have an incredibly terrible and conservative game plan. Now, we're not going to fall for that. We've been watching this game. if you're with me, you've been listening to this game. This has not been a conservative game call. It ain't like they running the ball 3 times and punting. That's not it. He threw the ball 5 or 10 times. People just put him in the category like he was a game changer already, and they downplayed Ohio State's defense, so they're already ready to make the excuses if he doesn't perform. I always say, pay attention to who they make excuses for. I noticed when they started making excuses for Dylan Gabriel, I was like, why are they making excuses for him? He just didn't play good. They making excuses for Arch Manning. So certain players, they play rough, they rip them. Other players, they defend them.
A lot of enthusiasm, positive energy.
Ohio State is getting the ball coming out of halftime, and Texas is about to kick it off to him. Let's go.
It's 1 versus 2.
Let's go with that pull.
Will Stone will send it off. James Peoples, the deep man. And Brandon Ennis as well. They're caught. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, the first thing I asked Coach Day going into the locker room was how he's feeling about his quarterback, Julian Sayin, the rhythm he was able to find in the first half. He actually said, I really liked his composure, especially considering we did have a couple of those drops early. Well, speaking of those drops, a few from Jeremiah Smith, something we're not used to. I asked Day, are you planning to talk to Jeremiah Smith? Any words? He said simply, no, he is good. Now, as for the defense, a great start for the Buckeyes. He said we need to continue to stop the run. He also anticipates seeing a bit more from the run game with Arch Manning. It's something they will be ready for, but a great start for the Buckeyes getting the ball in the second half.
All right, Jenny, thank you. 1st and 10 of the 25 for Julian Sayin, who managed the game extremely well in the first half. No costly mistakes. Underneath, throws a strike, and it's caught by Jeremiah Smith.
Ohio State finishing out the first, or starting the second half the same way they finished out the first, looking for Jeremiah Smith. Great play. They get it to him 2nd and 4. This is what you want to do. You want to get in the 2nd and short. It's so important to get in the 2nd and short so you could have that sustained success on that drive.
Completions, and they also got that holding call on 2nd down against Smith.
2nd and 4. Here's the run game now. Peoples. But just think about some of the things Jeremiah Smith, Joel, did as a freshman. He was the Big Ten's receiver of the year and freshman of the year. He broke the Buckeyes' freshman records for catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and receiving yards in a single game. And he's a baby.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 true freshmen. I said this last year. There's only 2 true freshmen that I've ever felt could play at whatever level of football possible when they were 18 years old. And that was Adrian Peterson and Jeremiah Smith. And
yes,
he proved that with a monster year production-wise a year ago.
3rd down and 4 at the 31. Sayin, looking, sideline, incomplete, broken up. Nice defense this time by Texas. Malik Muhammad steps in, redirects the football, and the Buckeyes will have to punt.
Yeah, good coverage by Malik Muhammad right here, and he's going to be physical. Remember, he got the holding call earlier in that first half, and right there they get a little away with a little bit of contact, and Smith's trying to get back to the ball, and you can hear the fans react to that, but no flag, and the Buckeyes will.
They could have easily called him again for holding there on Jeremiah Smith. He pulled Jeremiah Smith towards him as he's trying to make his break back to the ball. So they end up that good play on 1st down to get it to 2nd and 4. They run the ball. All right, we got to get this snap off. We don't need a penalty on a punt. All right, so they get the snap off for 1 second. They go on the play clock. Decent punt there. Looks like Texas is going to have the ball right around Ohio State 28-yard line. But you got to get more. When you get to 2nd and short, you got to get more out of that drive. You got to be able to extend that drive. You can't go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 4 and never move the ball forward again. So just missed opportunity there. Yeah, you can say they could have potentially called holding again, but you can't put it in the ref's hands. You got to put it in your hands.
Flag was on the field. Yeah, they play on here.
So 1st down and 10 for Arch Manning at the 29. Let's see. what kind of adjustments Texas has made during the halftime period. And this is Wisner. Quintravion Wisner. They call him Trey, but his mom, Angie, says, no, my boy's name is Quintravion.
Well, Quintravion is the SEC's leading returning rusher, and certainly a really quality player.
On 2nd down and 4, Wisner picks up the first down.
So I thought the first half was very un-Sark characteristic. You know, like, he normally has a lot of motion and a lot of things to put pressure on the eyes of the defense and side-to-side type movement. And now you're starting to see a little tempo here. They're going to go fast.
First down at the 41.
But Gus, I would expect more tempo. I would expect more motion and movement.
Arch with a kind of another errant pass there on a bubble screen. His accuracy has just not been on display. He has to settle in and get the ball where he's trying to go.
Today, throw a pass in rhythm and get a completion.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13 at the 38. Young man trying to figure this thing out against the reigning national champions. On the road, Manning scrambles, turns it up, squares his shoulders, look at the feet, and gets out of bounds with the first down. Now, everybody talks about Archie, his granddad, his Uncle Peyton, his Uncle Eli, his father.
So this is something I said during halftime. The only thing I was worried about is Arch Manning running from the pocket. He just did that there. You see his athleticism. He runs for a first down. It was 2nd and 13, and he just ran for the first down.
First down and 10 at the 47 after the 14-yard gain. And they'll hand it off. Wisner gets to the edge, squares, and powers his way forward close to the first down in front of Igbenogson.
Yeah, good series. And as Tom Rinaldi told us, Sark was going to focus on first down, and now they've gotten a couple of quality first down plays. When you get 2nd and short, this is the time to take a shot right here. Get a big play action and take a shot over the top.
2nd and 1 at the 38. And they'll hand it off looking for that first down. Wisner leaning and gets it. Let's go downstairs to Tom Rinaldi.
Well, Gus, you mentioned it. The pedigree speaks for itself with Peyton, Eli, and Archie. But when we spoke to Arch this week, he said, please give my mom, Ellen, some love. Track and field, volleyball, and soccer star back in New Orleans. The all-district selection is a high jumper. She's in her high school's Hall of Fame, and it's an inaugural class. She'll be very happy if you say that on air, Arch told us with a laugh. There you go, Arch.
That's right. That's Ellen's baby out there. First down and 10 at the 36. And the handoff. Baxter. It's so interesting, Joel. I called Peyton's games when he was at Tennessee. I remember as a sideline reporter interviewing his dad, Archie. I called Peyton and Eli's games when they were in the pros. And now, look at this.
There you go. Now you got Arch, and he's just trying to build a career for himself.
That's right. Here's Manning underneath. Ooh. Sonny Styles comes up and makes the hit on C.J. Baxter.
This is what Ohio State was going to be nervous about, though. They did. One of the questions surrounding this team was the depth at defensive line, and now in a long series, you're starting to see this defensive line wear out. Wouldn't be surprised if Texas is just able to run for this right here.
3rd down and 2 at the 28. The handoff to Baxter breaks it back. Another first down. I remember last year going.
When you got the opportunity to get this stop on 3rd down in the backfield and you let them break the tackle, Ohio State's D-line has to get back to playing how they were in the first half. This is the first sustained drive they've been on. Texas going to tempo on them, and they could be getting tired because that was – you had the advantage. You had them in the backfield in short space, and you let them get away.
Going here today, but they're starting to find a rhythm here offensively on this series.
First series of the second half at the 20. And a slingshot to the sideline. Caught by Moore. He's close to another first down. Igbenogson with the tackle after a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, more of that if I was a Texas fan. Again, a little play fake from Arch, and then he's on the edge. And Gus, he's already shown the elusiveness, so the defense has to respect his legs, and he can still dump the ball off on the outside.
2nd and 1 at the 11. Manning, play fake, looking, guns it, sideline, caught. This time it's Dalen McCutcheon. And he'll pick up a first down.
Yeah, nice first down there. Arch just surveying that boundary side, the short side of the field, and he comes down to McCutcheon. McCutcheon is able to get the completion, and McCutcheon is a guy that they're very high on. Polished receiver, just a true freshman, getting a chance to play here in the big house, or excuse me, in the shoe against the defending.
Don't say that.
Slip of the tongue. In the shoe against the defending national champion, and nice first down.
First down and goal at the 9. Weisner in the backfield with Manning. Arch straight ahead with Wiggle, and he'll get inside the Ohio State 5 as he gains 5. Arvell Reese with the tackle.
Can't wait to see the game plan here from Sark, because last year's Ohio State team was as good as we've seen in a long time inside the 5-yard line and goal line situations. It's one of the reasons why Texas threw that toss sweep, if you remember famously, inside of the 5-yard line of the national semifinal, and pushed them all the way back right before Jack Sawyer took it to the house the other direction.
Second down and goal at the 4. Manning runs it, looking. It'll gain about a yard.
On these crucial type of plays.
All right, third and goal. They had 2 runs. Is it a player down? Third and goal. They had 2 runs by Arch Manning. Ohio State has a player down on the field. They're going to take a quick break to check them out, make sure they're okay. This is where it gets real. So what they've done is they've spread Ohio State out, and then Arch Manning did the first run. They spread them out again, had a running back run out the backfield. They did the second run. So now what are you going to do here on third and goal? You've shown your hand on those QB runs. The first one was better than the second one. The defensive line played the second one a lot better. You are seeing the athleticism from Arch Manning. We got to see if Ohio State defense can do what they did all of last year, and if they can contain and be stout in the red zone. So that is what we're looking to see when this play comes up. And they're in a position where they're at the 3-yard line. Based on how Texas offense have looked, I believe this is 2-down territory. You're going for it on 4th down. I don't know how much a field goal helps you here because it's a 1-score game and you haven't been able to get here that often. Arch is doing a lot better now that they have him running. So far, if I had to grade him as a runner or a passer, I would say he's doing a lot better as a runner. As a passer, he's doing okay, but his passes down the field, he threw a medicine ball to one guy, got him smacked across the middle. He passes to the outside. They're close to the line of scrimmage. But his strength is spreading the defense, giving them the threat of the run, and then that should open up passing lanes for him. But hopefully they don't figure that out till after they lose to Ohio State. So, because that's what I'm rooting for. But this is it here. This is, Ohio State. Texas is shifting that pressure. Texas is shifting that pressure. They're putting the pressure on Ohio State. They got pressure on Ohio State's defense. Now, if they go and tie this thing up, they're putting the pressure back on Ohio State. You got to bounce back. We got to see how you respond to the pressure after we go on a very long drive. This has been a very long drive, and see how you bounce back from it. So let's see.
9, trailing 7-0.
This is third and goal.
Third down and goal at the 3. Can the Longhorns punch this one in? Wingo in motion. They'll hand it off. Baxter cuts it back.
Come on.
Power forward, got close. And he'll be down. Looks like at the 1-inch line. Gains about 2 yards on the play.
Man, this is just like a carbon copy of last year, right? Ohio State's so good inside the 5, and Texas will go for it here. 4th down.
I think this is QB run all day.
They're going to do the push,
and they stop him. They stop him.
Ohio State does it again.
I thought they would spread Ohio State out. I didn't think they would go to a tush push. They went to the tush push, and Ohio State's defense shut them down. All the plays that Arch Manning was doing well was when they spread out Ohio State's defense, and then he ran it. But going to the tush push from the 1-inch line, it just, hey. This is good on good. This is good on good. So this is what happens. How do you perform when it's good on good when the pressure's on? Now, Ohio State, starting off from their 1-yard line, they need a sustained drive. They got to get their defense some time to catch their breath. That was a very long drive. The defense held them down, so they need a long drive. They need 2 or 3 first downs on this drive to give their defense a breather. You can't go 3 and out here, a quick 3 and out. That's not going to help your defense. Your defense will be, they'll be still trying to recover from this last long drive, and you'll just be putting their back up against the wall. So I've seen that a lot with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns get a turnover. The Cleveland Browns get a great stop, and then they go a quick 3 and out. Defense is back on the field. They barely even got Gatorade. So this is where you need a couple. I mean, it's perfect if you go and you score a touchdown, score a field goal, something like that. But 3 and out is your worst nightmare if you are Ohio State. You need a sustained drive. I'm calling it. They need 3 first downs to give their guys a break. You want to give your guys a breather, get 3 first downs. We're going to see. We're going to see what everybody says. Immediately, they put up the highlight of Arch Manning running. But this is one of those where running is not going to beat Ohio State. Running is not going to beat Ohio State in this game. So when we have these long extended commercial breaks, I'm looking at X. I don't post that much on X. I use X more as an advertising place where I just kind of put out when I'm going live and stuff like that. But people are already saying they're kind of turning on how they're speaking on Arch. It's because they overhyped him. If they wouldn't have hyped Arch up this much, you wouldn't have to change how you're speaking on him.
Several goal line stands throughout the year. They were able to stuff Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State, and even Texas in the college football playoff semifinals. And just a moment ago,
man, what great push right there from the interior. And Texas has got to be just beside themselves. Steve Sarkisian knows they ended their season basically inside the 5 against Ohio State. They had first and goal from the 1 and couldn't punch it in. And right here from inside the 1, they can't get in the end zone.
So Ohio State takes over at their own 1-yard line. Donaldson deep in the backfield and saying, we'll just try to give him a little breathing room.
I'll tell you what's so difficult. The goal of this series is just to get a first down and then maybe a second to try to help the field position. 2 first downs. That's the goal of the series. That's what you tell your young quarterback. But even within that, if you can't get a first down, you've got to get the ball away from the goal line. Because if you're punting the football,
I don't
11, 12.
I don't like doing the QB sneak on that first play. You're basically giving up a down. I like you trying to set up a running play to actually try to move it forward because you're at basically the 2-yard line. So how much does that help you? They have him throwing the ball from inside. I don't like this. I don't like this play call. I don't like the direction of this drive. This is not looking good. They might have a holding and a touchdown. This is, what are we doing? Your defense just held up. What are you doing?
Holding on the offense, number 7, 18 on the defense. Those penalties offset. Replay, second down.
I tell you what, that's David Smith, our official. This is our SEC officials today. I think that's a great job officiating this play. It's a tough look because you don't see LaFowl right there. His hands were initially up in the face of Hensman. And Hensman then, after he gets the hands in the face, he holds on. So watch right there. Okay, so see, there's the hand that you're seeing right there. Hand in the face. That's what's called originally. Then there's the hold. That's really good officiating from this crew.
So 2nd and 9 at the 2. Again. Saying. Hands it off straight ahead. No room, no gain. For Donaldson, Ethan Burke there defensively.
Now the situation I just explained, Gus, about that room for your punter. Now it's not even really about the first down. You'd love to move the chains, there's no doubt. But you've got to get this ball away from the goal line if you're Ryan Day. And
now you got 3rd and 9 from the 2-yard line. This is just, from the beginning, I just didn't like the way that they were calling it on this drive. Going with that quarterback sneak that barely got a yard, I just didn't like it.
Saying, hands it off again. This time they'll get a little breathing room as C.J. Donaldson will pick up 6.
that time they tried to spread the formation out. You saw all those wide receivers wide and then bringing a tight end back in motion just to try to get some space for that interior run, and they were able to pick up some yardage and get some room.
So Joe McGuire about 8 yards.
That's a win for Texas's defense. That's a win for Texas defense because they now got the chance to get the ball right around the 50 once you go punt. It's just you can't give away downs when you're paying that far back.
Sideline. Takes a bounce and out of bounds around the 45, 46. A 45-yard punt. Well done.
Yeah, 45-yard punt. 45-yard punt. You can't just punt on, or you can't run that quarterback sneak on first down, man. You got to put your hogs in, or you either got to put your hogs in and try to run the ball, or you got to spread them out, which your best run came on third down when you spread them out. So I didn't like it. I wanted to see them move the ball. I wanted to see them gain some yards. They weren't able to do that. So it's one of those situations, man. These little small things add up and they cost you later. You had all the momentum in the world. All the momentum in the world when you got that stop. I don't believe they have the same level of momentum now, and their defense is called to do the job again. Right, they're called right back on the field. So it's just I don't like it. Let me get a quick break in, y'all. I'll be right back. Shout out to y'all for give me a second during that quick break. I don't know what just happened. So I got a couple different browsers open and I got browsers moving. Once I just press something on my Stream Deck, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. But I think everything is all right. You know, Ohio State got lucky that wasn't. Ohio State got lucky that wasn't a safety. They got to do better. You got to use play calls, man. These play calls, this is where it gets real. When things get tight, you got to do better. You got to do better. So we're going to see how their defense comes out after just a short break. Pretty quick 3 and out there. So, you know, when you're relying on these guys, you're not giving them time to recoup and recover. So let's see what happens.
No, Buckeye Nation is fired up, but we need the shoe rocking. It's going to be the loudest it's ever been.
Are you fan enough? Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper thing. Yes, this place has been rocking. And Buckeye Nation is fired up. But Texas has found a rhythm here in the second half. The last time they had it, 15 plays, 70 yards, 7 minutes, no points. Flag on the play.
Holding on the offense, number 52. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
DJ Campbell.
That's the type of break you need. Holding there to start the drive. They're going in reverse. That's the type of break you need.
Perfect his craft. He's a former 5-star. Here's number 52, and he's going up, and he's just going to see Peyton Pierce and give him a big old hug. It's like it's Christmas right there on the second level. Hey, man.
He just bear hugged him.
How you doing?
First down and 15 at the 45. They'll run it with Wisner. And he's gang tackled. Do you think Sark could just start letting them throw it?
Well, I think they've tried. This secondary has won the battle on the outside. There's nowhere to throw it deep. They tried to throw it deep one time. It was double covered. You've got the best defender in college football back there, Caleb Downs. You don't want to just blindly throw the ball over the middle. And so I think Ohio State has largely taken that away, Gus.
Play fake. Manning, he'll throw it this time. Oh!
Interception.
Matthews Jr. The first turnover of the game.
They just called it. They just called it on the broadcast if you need to let him go deep. And right as they called it, he throws the interception.
Well, there's a reason they haven't been doing this. The coverage has been excellent. Matthews basically runs the route for him. Wingo tries to go back to the sideline. The shoe comes alive as Jermaine Matthews picks.
Ohio State defense is doing the job. They're doing the job. They force the turnover. They get back off the field. So now it's up to the Ohio State offense not being pinned back to do something. Ohio State offense has to do something. You got to take advantage of this. Got to take advantage of this. Let's see what they do now that they got a turnover. They should be around they're 32. So let's see what they're going to do. You got to take advantage of these opportunities. Now, based on how this game is going, this game could be over if Ohio State scores another touchdown. Based on how their defense is playing, they have a long, sustained drive. They give their defense some time. This game could be over. This game could be over. Because you'd be hard-pressed to say that Texas is going to figure out a way. So, Beast, you remember the last time you asked me, what did I think about Arch? And I said basically his throws, he been overthrowing. His accuracy hasn't been there. He's been better using his legs. That's just an example of it. That's just an example of it. But this is why you keep that pressure. I've been speaking this whole time about pressure. He now feels the pressure that they missed a great opportunity to score 7 points from the 1 yard line. So now this is when you're not thinking how you should be thinking because you know that their defense has been balling all game. This is building up that pressure. A lot of quarterbacks would have did the same thing he did through a pick right there because the pressure is too much. And you like, man, we had that long sustained drive and they stop us. Then we go to flip the field. So now we got to try to take a shot. And it's not like they were barreling down on him. He just lofted it up there. I don't even know if that was a 50-50 ball. I think that was more of a 75-25 ball based on Ohio State DBs. Yeah, hey. I never crowned him my king, so I'm not going to be one of the people this week that's going to be backtracking on, what they crowned him. But it's going to be that's if you watch my content, I hope you see that in most cases I'm just calling out the hypocrisy in the media. I'm calling out their bad takes, and I'm calling about how they make excuses for people they like and jump through hoops and hurdles for other people. That's what we're going to see this whole week until he gets to play again. We're going to see it this whole week. So we're back. Ohio State offense has the ball. 3 minutes, 1 second left in the third quarter. Let's go.
First down and 10 after the interception at the 32-yard line for the Buckeyes. Play fake. Saying. Sets. And this one's caught by Innes. He'll pick up 3.
Well, they're going back to that play that they called earlier in the game on fourth down when Smith was wide open, but that was double covered like they have been doing most snaps. This is the coverage during the course of the game. You see 2 and 3 guys looking up Smith, running with him, eyes on him as they drop into coverage. They're trying to focus on where's number 4. You see the eyes go to number 4. So how do you beat it? You motion outside, get those guys spread out, and then just run a little dump route over the middle of the field. That's how they've been trying to get Smith the ball in more creative ways because of the coverage.
2nd and 7 at the 35. Donaldson. And he's ridden down after gain of 3.
And as that defense continues to play well, now what you start thinking about is trying to get them a little bit of a rest. You know, before that pick, the last series that defense was out there was 15 plays. And where do you go on third down? Well, it's been a big Smith target game, and obviously you would anticipate that. The other guys have not really played a factor. I would expect Carnell Tate in the second half to have a big catch, Gus, sometime. Maybe Max Clare, but one of those guys, because of the double coverage on Smith, they're going to have to win their one-on-one matchup.
3rd down and 4 at the 38. Saying. First down, yes, for Ohio State. It's Jeremiah Smith. Ran a great route, caught it in stride, and he'll gain 7 on 3rd and 4.
He's so physical at the top of his route. Watch, he's going to be working against Malik Muhammad right here, and it's a slow release, and then just hands right there. Maybe he gets away a little push-off, but creates.
It's crazy how you know they're going to want to go to Jeremiah Smith, and they think they're going over top when they only need 4 yards. They get the first down throwing it to Jeremiah Smith. This is that sustained drive that they need, and then you could take it into the 3rd and 4th quarter break to give your defense time to rest.
Saying goes through his progressions, checks it down to Donaldson. He gets his shoulder square and out of bounds about a yard and a half short of the first.
Yeah, I think this is a big deal, is getting a catch from a back early, because remember Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins last year. They were the 2 backs for Ohio State. They're now in the NFL. They caught the ball exceptionally well. So these young guys that are having to come in, or the transfer C.J. Donaldson, they've got to fill that production and get those catches. Donaldson at West Virginia, Gus, was an H-back style tight end at times and a running back. So he's got.
You can try to draw him off sides, but you don't need to run a play.
He's been a receiver before, and they certainly took advantage there on the last play.
Yeah, you're not going to run a play.
And 1 touchdown.
All right, so we made it to the 4th quarter. Ohio State defense won the 3rd quarter. That's who won the 3rd quarter. Ohio State offense starting to pick it up towards the end of the quarter, but Ohio State's defense won that 3rd quarter. You get them that extended break. You don't want to run a play there. You want this thing going into the 4th quarter. You want 3 more cracks at it to get 1 yard, so you can give your defense an extended break. They were on that long 15-play drive. This is where games are won. This is how you manage the game well. They could have easily, some people would have just rushed up and ran the play. Nope, you don't run the play. You got to think about your defense. Your defense is balling out for you. Your defense held you in this game in the 3rd quarter. You got to start thinking about making sure they get the proper amount of rest going into the 4th quarter. And you want your offense to be refreshed and ready to go. So you want them to lead this to be a scoring drive, not a field goal. You want this to be a touchdown drive. You get a touchdown drive here based on how Ohio State's defense is playing, and they get rest, that might be the game. it might only take 14 points to beat Texas based on how Ohio State's defense is playing. So that was smart to not run the play, smart to get their guys some rest. I like what I'm seeing. We just need more of it, and Ohio State should be able to potentially put this game out of reach. So we're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. New defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, is calling a great game. His guys are showing up. His guys are balling. Brian Hartline, I didn't like what he did when he was calling plays when they were backed up at the 1 yard line. I didn't like that drive at all, but the defense saved him. The defense covered up his mistakes. I don't like running a quarterback sneak on the 1 yard line and you get 6 inches. Pause. You got to do more than that. So that's what she said. So I didn't like that drive. I didn't like what they did. But hey, when your defense is balling, they will save you. Now you owe it to your defense to give them a break. You give your defense a break here. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm always the first person saying something, and then it comes and plays itself out. You only have to defend guys when you have pushed them up into the upper echelon before they were ready. We saw it with Dylan Gabriel. This whole week, we're going to see it. You're going to hear it. First Take is going to be talking about Arch Manning. Arch Manning, if you thought you were sick of Shador being spoken on, Shador is not going to get spoken on as much because he's not being prepared to play this week unless in case of emergency. Arch Manning is going to dominate. He is going to dominate what everybody's speaking on for this week. And there are going to be questions if he could do it because everybody said he had all the tools. So we're going to see. We're gonna see how it goes. We are back. Ohio State offense, I need a sustained drive from you. I need you to let your guys get some rest and just let y'all know, hey, they're gonna be all over the place trying to defend Arch Manning. Let's go. They're gonna blame Steve or Sarks when they was defending and talk about how great he was before the game.
I know that Ohio State would love to punch it in the end zone on a series like this, and it's been quality so far, but it's also important to try to get a 2-possession lead. Right now, they're probably about 17 yards away from Fielding's range, Gus, and so that's in the back of your mind as well.
Second down and 1 at the 46, and first down for the Buckeyes. Donaldson. Mark Ingram talked about it during the pregame, Joel. Whoever controls the running game, whoever wins the running game will win this game.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, if you look at the stat sheet, Texas has actually run the ball better. They're running for about 4 yards per carry, 119 yards on the ground, and Ohio State more methodical, 25 carries, 63 yards, 2.5 per carry. But it seems like when they need the crucial yard or two on short yardage situations, Ohio State has been able to get it.
First down at the 43. Another handoff, Donaldson. Nice forward lean, but there is a flag.
Got a flag on the play, but that was a good run. We got to see what this flag is for.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 or more players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I'm actually pretty shocked that that's our first, what I would call kind of like first game style penalty, mechanic style penalty that we've had.
Yeah,
it's actually been fairly clean. That's their first penalty.
That's a bad penalty.
And this is an SEC crew here, so if you're wondering like what conference is officiating tonight.
First and 15.
SEC crew led by David Smith. That's the first flag on Ohio State.
Very disciplined performance by the Buckeyes.
You need a decent play here. Let's go. Solid play. They got half of it back.
This time he picks up 8.
Yeah, great blocking here up front. You know, they're, again, going to pull some guys around. You got tight ends coming around. And then Donaldson is just going to try to get patient and be right behind those guys. Sabolo, the right tackle. You've also got Will Kazmarek, a really nice block. They've said that they think he's probably the best blocking tight end in the country. Granted, that's probably some bias coming from his own coaches, but Kazmarek is a guy they really trust in that run game. As
All right, let's chop this down. 2nd and 7. Cut this in half.
Saying, looking, goes deep, saying,
you got him. Oh, did he catch it? Let's go. Let's go.
Carnell Tate, 40 yards.
They didn't make no excuses for Shedeur, dogged them out just from one game. I totally agree. That's why I say that they're going to jump through some hoops all week because they only protect certain players. Certain guys can have a bad game and they don't hold it against them. Certain guys have a bad game and it justifies all the bad stuff they said about them. So we're going to see how they do it this week, how they treat it. If you look at these two quarterbacks, don't think about their names. Which quarterback do you want for your team in college? Do you want the number 10 for Ohio State, or you want number 16 for Texas? Oh, he did bobble it. Yeah, he had me nervous there. He kind of bobbled it. I thought he dropped it. But Brian Hartline, you redeemed yourself with that play call. You let him put it up there. He beat his man early. You made this a 2-score game. You gave your defense a break and a rest. So I like how this thing is going for Ohio State. I like how it's going. This is what you want to see. This is how you put things together so you can beat teams. You want to put it together this way. So we're going to see. This game is everything you could ask for when it comes to seeing the level of player Arch Manning is. We got to see him in the 2-minute drive situation. We got to see him pressing when the offense isn't going their way. We got to see his athleticism. So there you go. Beast, I'm with you. I'm taking 10 too. Just looking at both of them. 10 has not put the ball in harm's way. He hasn't put the ball in harm's way. I was calling out from the very, very beginning. I was like, Arch is missing guys high. Eventually, a safety is going to catch that. So you don't want to miss guys high around the middle of the field or right at the hashes because that's where the safeties play. So you see, that's why one has an interception, one doesn't. That's why one has a touchdown pass, the other one doesn't. So they're going to make all the excuses this week. But Arch Manning, my grade on him, I'm not going to give a grade yet. The game's not over. What I've seen so far is his athleticism is special for a quarterback, but he has to fine-tune himself as a thrower because I don't really care what Texas does when they play, Texas State. I want to see what he does when he goes up against the big guys, the big boys, the guys who are projected to be in the national championship. I want to see how he does against those teams. That's going to be my test. That's where I'm going to see who you are. So we're going to see. Like I was saying, we're getting to see him in every situation. You got 13 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Your team is about to get the ball. Can you make this a game? Can you lead your team on the scoring drive? So we are getting everything. This is like if you were looking for a one-game evaluation and you wanted to see a quarterback face every situation that he could, every situation Arch Manning is being thrown into in this game, and we get to see how he responds. So the game is back. Let's go.
Down the left side, 40 yards later, Ohio State up 14-0 here in the fourth quarter over the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns.
So that was the longest play of the game for either team. Carnell Tate with that 40-yard touchdown. And Texas brings it out of the end zone. Wisner. He jitterbugs and gets to the 15. Good special teams coverage by the.
So I'm going to call this out right on the spot. He caught that ball 7 yards in the touchdown, 6 or 7 yards in the touchdown. When you start getting the pressure on you, you start pressing to make things happen. You only got the ball to the 15. You should have just let that ball go. You should be at the 20. These are the mental mistakes that people make when they start pressing. There's no reason to press right here. Let's go.
Passing game out on the outside. Allow a guy like Ryan Wingo to operate.
First down and 10 at their own 15. Here's a handoff. Weisner. And let's check in with Jenny.
Quick update for the Buckeyes defensive end. Kenyatta Jackson has been ruled out for the rest of the game. He was walking on his own, but of course clear disappointment on his face. But on the positive, Gus, watching Julian Sayin come off the field after that huge touchdown to Tate, the big smile, Will Howard there to greet him, smiles all around.
Thank you, Jenny. Second down and 4, another running play. Texas close to the first down. But how about Sayin? That was his second career touchdown pass. His first was to Bennett Christian to get.
So this is the first test they're going to have on this drive, 3rd and 1. Let's see how they try to get the first down. I don't think you can go for it on 4th down here.
For 87 yards in last year's semis.
Ooh.
First down now for the Longhorns as Weisner gets out of bounds.
Yeah, good run by Weisner.
He should have been bottled up in the backfield. He made a great cut across the field to get that first down. That's a great play by the running back there. Texas did not need to get stopped. They needed to extend that drive. So that was a great play by the running back there.
Which you would normally see from Sark, just a lot of straight run game.
13-yard gain, first down from the 37. Manning. Another check down. Out wide. Baxter. And it'll pop forward. Dropped by Lorenzo Styles Jr. How about Lorenzo Styles Jr.? He got his degree in April, and his father, Lorenzo Styles Sr., came back and got his degree in April as well. So both Lorenzo Sr. and Lorenzo Jr. graduated at the same time.
Very cool. And gets to play with his brother, Sonny, who's the linebacker, one level in front of him.
2nd and 5. Nice blocking by Texas. Manning gets it away and completes it.
Tell you, this is a great block in the backfield by C.J. Baxter, because Sonny Styles, who I just mentioned, he's making a beeline right up the middle of the field. He's right here. He's going to come right for Arch Manning. And watch this block from C.J. Baxter. He gets confused, goes out right. That allows the time for Manning to get the ball out to the outside. Really their best pitch and catch of the day.
Parker Livingstone with the reception. He'll pick up 15 yards. 1st and 10 at the 43. Manning sets, guns, underneath, intercepted. Sonny Styles. My father and brother got a degree. I got a pick. And it looks like Jermaine Matthews may have deflected that football.
That was Matthews. He steps in front. Styles trying to keep that one off the turf. I'm sure they'll take a look at this one. But as of right now, Buckeyes think they've got a pick.
I don't know. Mike Pereira, he's coming up next.
I don't know if that play is going to stand, but Beast is just like you said earlier. You said he's throwing the guys that are open. The coverage is so sticky. That's not the throw you want to make. This is when you start to see guys pressing. The first press was bringing the ball out instead of just downing it going to the 20. The second press was him forcing that ball there. This is why you want the advantage. This is why you want to put pressure on the other team. You want them forcing it. You want them feeling the stress and pressures of the game. That is what Texas is feeling. Once I saw the second angle, I don't think that's going to be an interception. I think they might call it back because it looked like the ball moved when he hit the ground. And, in college, you can't do that. So I think they might be calling this back. He might get saved on the technicality, but that's just a poor decision. Poor decision. I'm going to say this. This is not just about Arch Manning. So during the draft process, as I'm doing my live streams, I always said, I don't want the most athletic quarterback. And the reason why I said I didn't want the most athletic quarterback is because athletic quarterbacks, they usually get to a point where they are so gifted athletically that when they get into trouble, they don't have to think through. It's close. We're going to see. I want them to hold it. I want them to say it was an interception, but they're going to definitely review it. But athletic quarterbacks don't necessarily have to think through situations when the pressure breaks down on them. They just go to their athleticism. They take off. They run. They overthrow the coverage. They get away with stuff. I want my quarterback to have to think through situations more when he's in college and not use athleticism. That was my knock. I've been saying that about Anthony Richardson for 2 years. I'm like, the guy only played, I think, 10 games in college, so he hasn't taken enough snaps, and he's so gifted athletically. I'm like, that's a bad combination. So when they're speaking on these quarterbacks and they're talking about how athletically gifted they are, I want that in my running back. I want that in my receiver. I don't want that in my quarterback, because when you got to think the game, that's when they tend to make mistakes. So we're going to see when it comes back. We're going to see if they actually count it as an interception. The fan in me wants it to be an interception. The analyst in me is looking and saying they might overturn it. Let's see what they say. It looks like Ohio State defense is still on the sideline.
There's a ruling on the field. Interception.
Beast, you're right. Hey, Beast. Hold on.
Is being looked at.
They still looking at it? Let's see what they say.
After video review, the pass is incomplete. The defender did not have control of the ball.
Let's go to Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. Michael.
And he makes the right decision, Gus. I mean, the ball's actually between his arms. He doesn't have it firmly in his hand. And you're going to get a couple shots and see it. Now watch the ball between his arms, not in the hands. And then it's going to go through to the ground here and then pop actually when it hits the ground. But he really used the ground to try to complete the catch, and that's the right decision in replay to reverse this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's a terrific job by replay. Matthew McConaughey on the sideline thinking, all right, we got a second chance.
That's one of those situations where I was right, but I don't want to be right. I wish I was wrong, and it was an INT.
Now Manning under center. Here's the reverse. Wingo with a seam and a hurdle. Upended on the play by Jermaine Matthews.
Now that looks different.
Now, Ohio State's defense can't go crazy with the shifts, the motions, them moving guys around. They are dumping their playbook right now so they can try to get this thing going. So, Ohio State defense, keep your core principles. Don't get away from your core principles of how you play defense. They got the urgency. You got to make them beat you the way you've been defending them. Don't let them off the hook.
Like we just saw, are getting the wide receivers involved in the screen game. They've got some speed with the young players as well. But the creativity and the motion and movement needs to start to come out from this Sark offense. They've been way too static.
First down at the 30. Play fake. Manning dumps it down. He finds his tight end. Injuries. And he'll pick up big-time yardage. First down and more. 14-yard gain.
There we go. Now we're starting to get into Sark being a play caller here, creating the momentum for his team. A reverse, a screen pass, getting some formations going, movement in the motion game in order to confuse the defense. And you can see him working on that play sheet here, and we'll see what else he can dial up as they get inside the red zone.
First down and 10 at the 16-yard line for Texas. They've been close. Manning, straight ahead run. Trying to fight forward, and does. 4-yard gain.
Well, that series, Sonny Styles had not been in the game. I believe he was in the 10th on the sidelines being looked at after that review, and now back into the game, the captain of this defense in there with the block O.
Second down and 6 at the 12. Wiseman on the cutback, Getz. inside the 10 for 3. Will Smith with the tackle.
3rd and 3. Defense, remember, keep your principles. They're going to run some craziness on this down. They're going to run some craziness. Keep your principles. Keep your principles. Please, defense, listen to me. You hear me. Keep your principles.
The lone setback. Motions. Manning. Looks. Underneath and incomplete. Wingo. That ball had a little too much hot sauce on it, and it was low.
Well, now where do you go? Day looking at his defense, trying to get another 4th down stop. They've already done it here.
Yeah, they got to go for it. They can't not go for it.
On 4th and goal, here 4th and 3.
This is when guys start their legend arc. Situations like this. What are y'all going to do? Remember, Arch can run. Gap integrity. Ohio State saw what they wanted. They called the timeout. I like this.
We'll take a break. 4th and 3 coming up. 8:02 to go in the 4th.
I got a feeling that they were going to run Arch Manning running play there. They had the running back out wide. They brought him back in. They're probably going to use him as a lead blocker. Right here, this is gap integrity. Keep your principles in football. Don't fall for the foolishness. They almost fell for it on that last play. They sent the running back to the right. They thought they might be doing some type of like running back screen or something like that out the backfield with the receivers blocking. They had the receivers on the back end doing slants across the field. Arch throws a better pass. They already have the 1st down. So keep your principles. Keep your principles. You can win the game right here on this drive. I don't think Texas has enough in their playbook to get out of another situation where they make it to the red zone and get nothing. Hold your principles. Let's go.
3 on 4th down conversions today. 4th down and 3 at the 9. Manning in the end zone.
Let's go. Let's go.
He had a receiver, Parker Livingstone, just couldn't hold on. Great coverage by Davis and Igbenusum.
Couldn't hold on. Oh, you're right. You're right. I was going to say, I didn't.
Came back. Matt Patricia put him in coverage one-on-one. And the
I was nervous. I had questions for Matt Patricia, how he was going to do on the collegiate level. Y'all know before right when I got on stream, that was one of the question marks. I had question marks for Matt Patricia. I had question marks for Brian Hartline. I like everything that Matt Patricia has done in this game. I had one question for Brian Hartline, what he did when they were backed up. But besides that, these new coordinators and play callers, I believe, have called a great game, and they keep putting the screws to Texas. I keep talking about the pressure. The pressure is more greater. The pressure is more greater. When the pressure gets to this point, you see people doing things that are uncharacteristic. And that's the point you want to push them to. You want to push them to. They're not thinking straight. They're not making decisions straight. And that is the beauty of football. There's no other game like football. That's the beauty of it. Now, the NBA is my favorite sport. Basketball is my favorite sport, but it is nothing like football. It's nothing like it. It's chess and checkers all wrapped up in one. You're making certain decisions for things you're going to do later. You're making certain decisions for stuff you're going to do now. And I just like it. It's nothing like it. Me as a podcaster, me as a streamer, the summer is slow and you're doing so much speculation. You're doing so much of just explaining what you know about the game. But when the games are here and it matters, and it's in between those white lines, it's nothing like it. It is nothing like it. I'm really enjoying it. And I hope you are enjoying it. And I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all for tapping into this different style stream where now you get to see me in real time, not just, go over subjects, not just go over what I think should happen. You hear me in real time calling things out, questioning things. You hear my analysis. So you get to see it. A lot of reasons why people who do what I do don't do this live, because the understanding isn't there. And that's where I believe I set myself apart. So, man, they're showing Hulk Hogan. It's crazy. RP to Hulk Hogan. We're back. One sustained drive here. Burn, shoot some clock. Beast, I'm with you. Ohio State's defense really did something else. Ohio State's defense has been something special. Man, look at that view.
As if you're in a movie theater. So Arlington, Texas, we see you. Shout out to you guys. Sold out down there, although I'm sure that there's a lot of unhappy spectators in Arlington, Texas right now watching this one with their team down 14-0.
Not over yet. Ohio State running the football. That was pretty cool. Have you been to one of those?
I'm sorry?
The Cosms?
I have not. I've been intending to. My boys, I got 13, 11, and 8-year-old boys, and they've been wanting to go to a game, but unfortunately for me, I can't take them to a college football game. Obviously, we're working, so I'm going to do it for Major League Baseball. Again, you can go to all sorts of different events and watch these games that are televised and any sport.
Wow,
at these
Henry's 13 now, eh?
Henry's 13. He's going to the 8th grade.
I knew him when he was.
I would have to look at their I'll have to look at their full schedule. I've been kind of just looking at it. I've only looked at it for the first 4 weeks. Let me see. Actually, this is what I'm gonna do. Nice sustained drive, first down here. As this drive is going, I'm gonna pull up their schedule and try to do some on the spot, give you a breakdown of what I think their record is gonna be. So let me get the volume back. Let me pull up their schedule.
Take a shot at some point if you feel like the defense is creeping way up towards the line of scrimmage, but this is a drive that is all up front. These 5 guys, a rebuilt offensive line. Phillip Daniels, the right tackle, transfers in from Minnesota. These 3 guys in the middle, Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, Tegra Shabola, they all got a lot of playing time late last year through that playoff run. And then the captain, Austin Sareveld, over at right tackle. They're trying to bleed as much clock as they can on the ground, getting as many first downs as they can.
First down and 10 at the 20. Another handoff, another run. What would it mean for this Ohio State program, flag on the play, if they were able to shut out this Texas Longhorns team?
I think that the shutout would maybe be like just an icing, as we'll get the announcement here from David Smith. But I think if you were to ask Ryan, he just wants to win the game.
51 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from
That's
the previous
holding on
spot.
the left guard, Luke Montgomery. I don't think he cares, what it looks like or how they do it or who gets the credit or what stats are accumulated or not accumulated. If they win it, 32-31 or 14-0, doesn't matter to him. I think he would just say, we just want to go out there and get the W. But to answer your question more specifically, for us in this world of we pontificate, we think about college football, we talk about college football, this would make Ohio State the clear #1 team in the country if they're able to close the next 6 minutes out.
First down and 20 at the 10. Julian saying, what a solid performance by this young man. Low snap, scoops it up, gets it away. This time it's Peoples fighting, and he'll get across the line of scrimmage and gain a yard. Clock.
All right, B. So I'm looking at Colorado's schedule here. I think they should beat Delaware. They should beat Houston. They should beat Wyoming. It gets dicey when they get to BYU. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to BYU. So that would make them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would make them 3-2. I think they can get TCU. That'll make them 4-2. And the back end of their schedule, man, oh man. I would have to look a little bit more into some of these teams. But Iowa State is ranked. Kansas State is ranked. Arizona State is ranked. So it's pretty tough looking at the schedule. I'll have to look a little bit more. I'll give you after the first 6 weeks. The first 6 weeks, I think they could go 4-2, and I think that would be a success considering they lost a game last night that they should have won. So, Beast, I only got half of it, but I think 4-2 after 6. I think that would be a really good start for them. What do you think about the first 6 games?
It's a chance to be turned over, so this ball's not going over the middle of the field, certainly. It might just be another run play, and Ryan Day might rely on his defense here.
3rd down and 15. And it is another run play. Not a lot. As Donaldson gets to the 20. That brings up 4th down. Texas calls a timeout. 2 remaining for the Longhorns. 4:15 to go in the 4th quarter.
All right, 4:15 to go. Texas trying to save time and, buy some clock right there. They're down 14. Ohio State going to lean on their defense. Let's do a little bit more looking at this Colorado. See, I think it gets shaky. I got to see what these other teams are doing. I haven't really looked into those 3 other ranked teams, so I don't know about winning Big 12. I want to see how they bounce back. I can definitely give you a better answer once I look into this a little bit more. But I'll definitely be watching them all year. We got sound with no music. Let's see. All right, Ohio State about to punt the ball back to Texas.
Neblett back deep at the 44. McGuire gets it away. Neblett at the
close, had a chance to block. It was close to being a block. They got the ball. Looks like 41-yard line. Man, they killing me with this music. All right, the ball is at the Texas 40. That's only 1 second, I guess. 1 second came off the clock on the punt. No, 6 seconds came off the clock. It took a little bit for that to update. 4 minutes, 10 seconds. They got 2 timeouts. Texas down 14 to Ohio State. Let's see what Texas does.
Because I think that's because Texas was so aware of where he was lining up. A lot of their play designs have gone away from number 2.
1st down at the 40-yard line for Manning. Underneath, and a whistle. DeAndre Moore. Ohio State got a timeout before the ball was snapped.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Man, that was a good timeout. Ohio State was not prepared for that play. Something happened where when they were lined up, it was a big hole in the defense. So it looks like it was a miscommunication there somewhere where guys were not lined up right. So Ohio State lean on his defense to close this thing out. So the discourse is already happening on X. People are questioning if Arch Manning throws a good ball. They're questioning his play. So it's like I told y'all, it's gonna be a long week and a lot of conversations speaking on Arch Manning. All right, let's go. Let's see what they do. 1st and 10 for Texas.
In the national championship and went to Ohio State's rival Penn State as their DC. Manning down the slot, and it's caught. It's Wingo. Big reception, 29 yards.
Beautiful throw. That was the best throw of the day by far, and he was in rhythm. You notice he just hitched up right away and threw it right down the seam.
1st down, Manning again to the sideline, and Wisner gets out of bounds.
Only a 2-score game. There's plenty of time here with 2 timeouts left. Got to get a quick score here. Got to work quickly, obviously, but still plenty of time.
2nd and 5 at the 27. Manning tried to put that one in a shoebox and incomplete.
Well, now you start to think about Manning having to force the football a little bit down the field. He can't be too careful with it, but you can't.
3rd and 5 here. We're going to see what they do.
Players to get them the right matchup or in the right area for a big play.
3rd down and 5 at the 27. And some movement again on the right side of that offensive line. It might have been Baker again.
False start. 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's their 3rd.
That's what you want to do. Baker's feeling the pressure. He jumps off sides for no reason. This is why you need to keep the pressure on the other team. You got to keep the pressure on them. You have to. Jumping off sides. It's the wrong time.
Arch Manning guns it. Touchdown, Texas! Livingstone!
They said that other throw was his best throw. I think this throw was his best throw. He had some sticky coverage there, and this was his best throw to me. Yeah, just far enough where the DB can't get to the ball. So that was his best throw that I've seen so far. They're trying to make this a game. So Ohio State, you gave up a quick touchdown. It's time left in the game. What are you going to do?
Still with life. 3:28 to go, 4th quarter. Trying to make this a 7-point game. Longhorns with 2 timeouts left. Ohio State with 1.
This is not a guy that during the summer, I was doing a lot of prep for is Parker Livingstone, but as we take another look, they're trying to confirm this in replay and just make sure he had control before that ball.
Looks like he had it.
I think he does. That right hand looks like it's on, although there was a little shift in that ball.
I agree, Beast. I think that was his best throw. They were saying another throw was his best throw. I think that was his best throw right there. It was one-on-one coverage. The coverage was really good. He was right there. He just threw it to a place where the defender could not get to. So they're looking at it to see if this ball moves or if he has possession before he goes to the ground. We're going to see if they rule it a touchdown. But nonetheless, that was, to me, Arch Manning's best throw. Oh, it looked like it moved on the ground. Man, they got a bunch of angles. This is crazy. You think he caught that? It looked like it's moving. We're gonna see.
The thing is that first hand he's got control with is his right hand, but as he rolls over, the hand comes off the ball, and then it's under the forearm and wrist. That's going to be really – I know it's ticky-tack, but –
it's so ticky-tack.
I know.
So ticky-tack.
It really should be a catch. But letter of the law, they might turn this. I just want to remind everybody, you're wondering who's officiating this game. I've said it several times, just so you know. It is an SEC crew and SEC replay. So this is being looked at back in Birmingham, and Arch is trying to help those guys back in Birmingham. Like, come on, guys, it's a catch.
We're going to see. I thought it was easily a catch the first time I saw it. This is the thing. Once you slow it down, you show all these different angles, you show them rolling over, you show the ball moving from this hand and this hand, you got the pylon view. It's tough. I mean, I don't know if they're going to overturn it. I don't know what they're going to do. They're reviewing it now. Let's see what he says.
After video review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
So you're right, Miss Pamela. They gave it to him. They considered it a catch. If nothing else, we got a game. We got a game on our hands. It's a lot of time left on the clock. Ohio State will have to take some chances. They can't just play it super safe. They will have to actually attempt to move the ball upfield. You're not going to be able to burn 3 minutes. You're not going to be able to do it. You got the 2-minute timeout. They got 2 timeouts. You're not going to be able to burn 3.5 minutes. You're going to have to put the ball in harm's way to a degree, and you're going to need a sustained drive to make something happen. You're going to need it. We're going to see. Now, I've been talking about pressure this whole stream. Now the pressure is back on Ohio State. So Texas, they was dead in the water. They scored this touchdown. They got it off pretty quick too. Only a couple plays. Quick, they got it off. They got the touchdown. Now it's on Ohio State. The pressure's on them to not lose grip. You know what I'm saying? They got to hold on to the rope. They got to move the ball. They got to chew some clock. Preferably, they got to get another score, even if it's a field goal. You just got to shift that pressure back to Texas. Because pressure's on Ohio State. I'm rooting for Ohio State. I want Ohio State to win this game, but you got to shift that pressure. Shift it back to them. We're about to get the kickoff. Let's go.
Moment, there's that new theory in football about down 2 scores, 14, going for 2 there. Sark decides to kick the extra point, and now all the pressure is going to be on Ohio State and that offensive line to try to close this thing out.
And ball fair caught by Carnell Tate.
So there's three stoppages ahead for Texas. If you're looking at that, they've got the 2 timeouts, Gus. They've also got that 2-minute timeout. That'll happen in a minute 28. And this offensive line in this run game, and like I said, it hasn't been great. 30 rushes for 89 yards, 3 yards a carry. They're going to be asked to try to close this thing out and bleed this clock out. If and when the opportunity arises, the guy that'll be trying to make a crucial throw is a man making his very first start for the Buckeyes, Julian Sain.
From the 25, first down, Ohio State. Donaldson. Nothing.
They're trying to get big. 3 tight ends in the game. Only wide receiver is Jeremiah Smith out there on the edge.
Texas with 2 timeouts. The 2-minute time.
This is where I'm going to question Brian Hartline just a tad bit. You have not been able to run the ball versus them. Just basically letting them know that you're running the ball when you haven't been good at it today. I don't think that's the thing. Spread them out. This is what I want to see.
Backfield.
That's what he does. Saying to throw it. Looking. Saying, scrambling. And he'll just dump it. Wise decision for Julian Sain, but the clock stops with 2:39 to go in the 4th.
Man,
3rd down and 10. This is a big one for both teams.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
That is a tough one. You would rather see him just run right there rather than just throw an incompletion that allows Texas to keep their second timeout. Now there's still 3 stoppages ahead. And again, it's tough. There's a million things going through that young quarterback's mind right there, but not throwing an incompletion is one of them, and just running up and trying to dive, even if you don't get any yards. And now Arch Manning's going to have plenty of time if they're able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
Big one. 3rd down and 10 at the 25.
You got to get lined up. You got to get the snap off.
On the field. Saying, under pressure, underneath, caught, but not enough for the first. Brandon Ennis. And what a tackle by Grayson Littleton, the freshman from Tampa.
Boy, as advertised, number 29, right? Coaches raving in our meetings about Grayson Littleton, and a big tackle right there in a crucial moment on a 3rd down.
Man, when the pressure's been on Brian Hartline and his play calling, I just don't think he set his guys up for success. On that first down, you put all those tight ends in, man, spread them out. Go to 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. You still can run the ball, but you give the illusion of you could potentially throw, spread them out. And then Sayin is a young quarterback, so he's going to make these mistakes. Him dirting the ball right there, it helped them save one of their timeouts. It's just you got some stuff that's shaky. It's going to come down to this Ohio State defense.
At the 34, line drive kick. Lost it in the sun, out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
That's the best thing. The best. That is the best kick he had today. You didn't want to give up a return right there. He lost it. You see him signaling his eyes. That's exactly what you need to see. This Ohio State defense, their back is up against the wall. What are they going to do? They just gave up a touchdown drive. They have a chance to redeem themselves. Texas has the 2-minute timeout. Texas also has 1 timeout. So they're not stuck in that frantic pace. They get to move this thing how they want to. So Ohio State defense, Matt Patricia, what are you going to dial up?
Manning throws it up, incomplete. Wingo, the target, and he was open, but Manning had pressure.
He had him open. Pocket was collapsing a little bit, but that ball just sailing ever so slightly over Wingo's head. And this pass rush, although it was closing, there was a lot of time there for Manning in the pocket. And if Ohio State wants to get a stop here, I think they're going to have to try to affect his timing a little bit more. I would not be surprised to see them start to ratchet up a blitz or a pressure.
Second down and 10 of the 15. Manning again to the sideline. Big throw, caught! Woo! At the 45. Jack Endries, a gain of 30. Now that is a pro throw.
Beautiful throw just over the outstretched arm of the corner. And as Lorenzo Styles is coming in to try to jar that ball loose, terrific catch by Endries.
First down at the 45, and that takes us to the 2-minute.
This is where it gets real. It gets real. It's really real right now. So you got Texas down by 7. 2-minute timeout. They got 1 timeout. They're right around midfield. Can your defense hold them? Can your defense do it? Because now Arch is making better throws. Now that he's making better throws, do you drop everybody back in coverage? Do you try to pressure him? So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to see when they've got him under pressure, he's been overthrowing the ball. So this is when it gets tough. It gets really tough. Ohio State's defense is really going to have to bring this thing home. The last couple of drives, the offense just basically the offense trying to burn clock and some questionable calls, questionable decision-making. So we're going to see if the defense can do what they've been doing all game and bring this thing home. We're going to see. We are going to see. This actually came down to a great game. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this game. I know it's not the points that everybody wants to see when they watch football, but just the ebbs and flows of a game. It's a long game. You have to be able to get stops when you need stops. You got to extend drives when you need to extend drives. It looks like Ohio State has not been able to extend drives in the second half when they needed to. The last 2 at least, when there was the most pressure on Texas. So now Texas just keep putting that pressure back on Ohio State. And the way you respond when the pressure is on you is usually what determines the level of talent. So we gonna see. We are going to see. I like it. What y'all think about the game? What do y'all think? Is this game going how y'all expected? Are y'all enjoying it? What do you think about Arch Manning? What do you think about Julian Sand? What do you think? All right. It's almost back. It's almost time.
7 in what has been mostly a defensive game.
Man, this music. Y'all killing me with the music. Y'all killing me with the music. Got the music.
I'll tell you, that was a beautiful ball, and they're starting to find their way in this passing game, running through the seams, whether it's down the hashes or on the sideline. Not the in-breaking routes or crossing routes, but just right down the seam.
First down at the 45. Here's a run, and it's Wisner. He's dragged down from behind by C.J. Hicks.
And again, a real lack of pressure so far. Manning has been able to sit back into the pocket, start to attack down the field.
Manning again after the 5-yard gain to the sideline. That one low and incomplete. Near the first down marker for injuries.
The passes that Arch is throwing low, I just don't really understand him. He's thrown quite a few passes low when he didn't have pressure on him, so it's kind of confusing. Not sure what's causing him to throw him low, but 35, big play here.
Third down and 5 at midfield.
Did the play clock run out? Where's the play clock at?
Trips at the top of your screen. Injuries, the tight end at the bottom.
Where's the play clock at? Oh, 5. There we go.
Wisner in motion. Manning. Sidearm. Up top. Incomplete. Wow. Wingo. And he had some real estate in front of him, but that ball thrown slightly behind him.
That looked like a coverage bust right there. I didn't see anybody on the screen with him. He threw it behind him. He almost made a great play. That was easily a first down. This is what the pressure does. The pressure makes routine throws like that be behind the guy.
4th and 5.
Will they extend the game?
Manning in trouble. Got it away. Caught.
Wow. Caleb Downs makes a tackle. Ohio State defense comes through.
But once again, does not break.
Ohio State defense comes through. They're going to down this thing out. They're going to win the game. Hey, when the game is on the line, you need your best players to step up. When the game is on the line, Ohio State best players stepped up.
How about Hicks with the pressure, unblocked from the offense's right side. Here's Hicks.
Yeah, let's see that. How did he get in like that?
Right through this right side, and the tackle never gets out there. Watch 11. He's right in the face of Manning, and Manning shows you some serious strength to get that ball out in the first
Wow.
place. But he gets it out. Injuries.
Wow.
Catch. It's short, and the Buckeyes come up with another 4th down stop. I tell you, what a game. That was a heck of an effort from that defense. Time and time again, they were asked to answer the bell, stop the Texas Longhorns on 4th down, and time again, they came up with the stop when they needed it most.
Saying.
I'll say this. It's a positive. It's a positive that Arch Manning, he didn't fold and crumble under the pressure. He made some bad throws. He had some opportunities. They had a really big missed opportunity on 3rd down when he threw it behind the receiver. That last play, the tackle not blocking. Rough game. Definitely a rough game. It was a rough game for Arch Manning. He didn't fold under the pressure. He stuck in there to the end, but he got to clean up his accuracy. He threw too many passes low when he didn't have pressure. He overthrew too many guys. It was times he made some beautiful throws. I can remember just off the top of my head maybe 4 throws where I'm like, this is a great throw. But he has a lot to clean up. And the Ohio State side, they got a lot to clean up in down and distance situations and situational offensive play calling. They got to clean it up. What's happening here? Why are we? Okay, we just doing it at the burn more clock. Okay. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Let this thing go all the way down. it's going to be a lot of people who are going to act like Arch Manning didn't have a bad game this week. I'm just warning y'all. I keep saying it. It's going to be a lot of people who are going to speak like he just came out, he balled out the whole game. Y'all been here. I've been calling it out live when he does something good, when he does something bad. They hyped him up so much, and they would have loved if he could bring this thing back at the end of the game. He wasn't able to.
There we go. Now just a knee, and that's your ball game.
That's it.
Game over. Game over.
Jim. But in the end, the national champions prevail. 14-7. Ohio State defeats Texas.
It was a great game. Another thing you got to think about, Texas came in the number 1 ranked team. Ohio State was ranked number 3. They're coming off a national championship, so they felt slighted for how they were ranked. But they came through when it was time. Their defense is what saved this game. They had some questionable things happen on offense. Yeah, Jeffrey, you saw a lot of high passes. I'm like, man, he missed a lot of high passes towards the sidelines. If those things were towards the middle of the field, he might have threw 4 interceptions. So he got to work on his accuracy. They need to let him develop into a great player, but just putting him and saying, oh, he got all the tools before he did it, you got to let him develop. There are going to be a lot of apologizing for the circumstances. I heard it during the game. During the game, I heard somebody say, it was one of the broadcasters say, I feel bad for Arch Manning, his first time starting, that he has to come here and play against Ohio State and the defending national champs. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. Look at how they make the excuses for a guy who they view a certain way. So, all right, it's grade time. Julian saying, I'm giving Julian saying I'm going to give him a B+. I'm right there, B+, A-. He saved him a timeout towards the end of the game. This is his first start. I'm going to change that. I'm giving Julian saying an A for how he handled this game. All the pressure, all the hype, all the anticipation. I'm giving Julian saying an A for this game. Real time, I just changed my grade because I wasn't giving him a B+, but I would have been grading him too harsh when he didn't take the slide. So I'm going to give Julian saying A on this game. Now, Arch Manning. This is where it's going to get dicey. People are going to get mad at me. When you have turnovers in close games like this, you put the ball in harm's way on a pass you don't need to attempt. I agree. I'm giving Arch Manning a C for this game. I'm giving him a C. He didn't spiral out after he threw the bad pick. He definitely has to clean up his accuracy on his high and low passes. He did drive them down the field to put that pressure back on Ohio State, and he didn't make any more mistakes after that. So I'm giving him a C. I'm giving Arch a C. I don't think it's the end of the world. People are going to speak on Arch Manning like it's the end of the world. People are going to defend Arch Manning this week like it's the end of the world. I'm just calling it what I see it for this game. I always said with Arch Manning, I want to see. I'm also going to say this. Arch Manning, when they go to those design quarterback runs out the shotgun, he is dangerous. His athleticism is there. I see what they were talking about. But they gotta work on him, his passing, his accuracy definitely needs to work on it. But I like his athleticism. I like his resolve where he didn't just, crash and burn under the circumstances. I think those things are good. But it's going to be a lot of discourse. People are going to use this performance by Arch Manning to defend Shedeur Sanders. Y'all know me, man. I'm just going to let y'all know what's to come. People are going to use this people are only going to find the good in what Arch Manning does when they talk about it this week. Y'all know I'm telling y'all the stuff before it happens and then it happens. So that's what people are going to do. People are going to overreact. and people are going to go in protection mode. If they just called it for what it was, then they wouldn't have to do those things. So I'm just calling for what I see it. I think a C is fair for Arch. I think a for Julian Saying. It was an awesome game. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as high scoring as some people anticipated, but hey, I enjoy good football. So glad it's back. We got a full slate of games. I'm going to be checking out Georgia today. I'm checking out Lenore Sellers in South Carolina. I'm checking out Kay Klubnik and Nutmiser in that game at 7:30. So I got to do a couple things real quick, but definitely enjoyed it. There's been a marathon stream, 3 hours. Tap in, like, comment, subscribe so you can be notified when I go live. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do my weekend stream, where I do my weekly stream and then my coverage. So just you got to like and subscribe so you get notified. I don't know if I'm going live on Friday or Saturday this week to talk about all things football. I'm still determining that. So to be determined the time of the next live stream. Shout out to everybody for tapping in. Shout out to everybody who commented. Shout out to everybody who liked. Jeffrey, I was about to end the stream, but I gotta talk about this real quick. Keeping my eyes open on quarterbacks because there's a possibility the Browns could draft one in 2026 draft. You, my friend, are on to something. I am looking at all the quarterbacks. I made a list of the quarterbacks that they were saying are going to be better for next year's draft. The quarterbacks I heard were, because I'm looking at them too, Arch Manning in Texas. That's obvious. We just watched him. Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. He has a game today. Going to check him out. Klubnik from Clemson. Nutmeyer from LSU. They play later on at 7:30. It's one I'm missing. It's one quarterback I'm missing. Who am I missing? I got a list somewhere as well. I think there's one more quarterback I'm missing. But I'm watching these guys too. I want to see what these guys are. And I might even, I don't think I'm going to do like full, I might do like a 10-minute YouTube video on the roundup of the college quarterbacks. I'm thinking about putting that together, doing a weekly, just kind of wrap up and going over what I saw for them, what I like, where I think they could get better, just to have a running history. Yeah, it might be Florida's quarterback because I knew it's one that I can't think of, but I'm going to check out Florida's quarterback because I just want to have a running log of how they did in real time, because trying to cram and look at all these quarterbacks right around draft time is too much. So that's why I want to grade them from week to week, and then I could always refer back to what I saw in real time. You know, I trust my eyes. I don't want to just put it into the draft experts. So DJ Lagway, shout out to you, Beast. Appreciate it. Yeah, so y'all are with me. I'm going to make sure I track this thing as it's going. So I'm thinking about putting together like a series, doing like a 10-minute video on YouTube on Tuesdays, potentially going over it. DJ Lagway is Florida QB. Shout out to you. I'll add him to the list of all the quarterbacks I'm going to check out. I'm gonna review their games and then put together. I don't think it needs to be a long video, like a whole live stream, but I'm thinking about doing it for the college quarterbacks, and I'm thinking about doing it for the NFL quarterbacks, and just putting together, you know, probably releasing the college quarterbacks on Tuesdays and maybe the NFL quarterbacks on Wednesdays. I haven't decided all the way down to which times I'm gonna do it, but be on the lookout for it. I'm definitely gonna put that together. So if you are a Browns fan and you heard it all draft time, 2026 is gonna be a better draft class. I'm not trusting y'all. I'm trusting myself. I'm trusting my own assessment. I'm trusting my own eyes. I'm gonna rewatch their games and I'm gonna put it together. So definitely subscribe so you can tap in for the season for when I do that. I think I'm gonna do Tuesdays college, maybe Wednesdays for NFL. So shout out to y'all. Beast, Jeffrey, it's been real. Been a great stream. Thank you to y'all. I'm going to go ahead, give me something to eat, and then I'm going to watch some more football and look at these quarterbacks. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.